All right. Good evening, everyone. We're up to chapter 58 of the Uten Slug campaign, and it's been a while since we played, so probably best to do a short recap. So last time, yes, you guys had started the session in Maelstrom, having just rescued King Hackathon of the Storm Giants from the clutches of the Kraken Society. And you had transported directly to there using the conch. Actually, he was able to use the conch to transport all of you without having to go through the usual song and dance of splitting the party up. Because, hey, he made the things. He can do what he wants to with them. Anyway, after arriving, you spent a few days doing some R&R and intelligence gathering. Apparently, the king wanted to find out, just, hey, what the hell's been going on while I've been unconscious on this boat in the middle of the sea. So after finding that out, he kind of called you guys together and brought you up to speed on what had been going on while you were mounting your rescue. So this the so-called advisor named Mithiri turned out to be pretty much just as untrustworthy as you guys had suspected. After you guys left, she stole the Kolnar scepter, which is the scepter that goes with the Wormskull throne. That basically is what is one of the primary instruments, I should say, of ruling the giant kind. And unfortunately, Princess Sarissa was actually seated on the throne at the time, which means that when she took the scepter away, Sarissa became paralyzed, and she can't actually move from the Wormskull throne until the scepter is actually recovered. So that's the first bit of great news. The other thing going on is that when Mithuri disappeared, so did the other two daughters of Hekaton, Mirren and Nim. First thought maybe Mithuri might have kidnapped them or something, but both their personal killer whale mounts were missing. They had a bunch of their stuff from their rooms, bedrooms gone, prize belongings, that sort of thing. Uthor, who's the brother of Hekaton and had been kind of like keeping things running while both the princess and the king were gone, he believes that they pretty much may have been working with Mithiri themselves.
No.
She was the one, or they were the ones that actually introduced Sarissa to the advisor, and he suspects they might even have had a hand in the death of their mother and the kidnapping of their father. And he thinks they just took off just for fear of repercussions and so forth. Hekaton's not 100% sure about what to believe on that, but nobody's been able to find them, so nobody knows. They aren't around to defend themselves at this point. But based on the description that you guys provided, Hekaton is convinced that Mithuri is probably the ancient blue dragon named Ymrith, also known as the Doom of the Desert. And he did do some further research and found out that she's also called the Dragon of Statues because she creates living statues to guard her lair, which is in a ruined amphitheater that's half buried in the cold desert somewhere northeast of Asgore, which you guys had actually visited before with the dragon Felgalos. And so while justice has to be served, Hekaton thinks his first thought is he's got to do something to get his daughter back, and making sure that the continuation of his line continues. And he thinks that he basically needs to assemble a strike force of storm giants and go to the lair of the dragon, destroy her, and recover the scepter so that his daughter can be restored. He asks if you guys would like to join him in that, and you guys are, yeah, sure, yeah, we're all for it. So you guys set off, but you had another task that you had to take, or that Hekaton had to take care of first. Along the way, you had told him about what had been going on with Duke Zalto and the fire giants at Ironslag, and that he had been building the Vonandad, and that concerned him enough that he decided he needs to nip this shit in the bud before moving on to the dragon. So luckily it was kind of on the way. So you traveled first by whale and then by rock He and along with his kind of strike force of storm giants took you guys along and made a stop at Iron Slag. And there he pretty much marched right up to the front door and demanded that Zalto surrender the Vanandad and swear fealty to him in perpetuity. The doors opened, but Zalto, he wasn't going to be too cooperative on that point, and not really in the mood for any foot kissing. Instead, he and the rest of the fire giants and his wife, the Duchess, actually was controlling the Vanandad itself. So while the fire giants attacked the storm giants and you guys, the Vanandad was kind of thrashing around and struggling to break free of its chains. Eventually, you did manage to kill Duke Zalto in the battle, but the Vanandad did break free of his chains and just started wreaking total havoc. But as soon as the Duchess tried to use the Vanandad normally had some sort of an eye attack. You could actually shoot lasers or something out of its eyes as like some kind of a beam attack.
Lasers.
Yeah,
Man.
that didn't work too well. It appears that somebody may have replaced the Dragon's Eye artifacts that were the eyes of the Vanandad with fakes. So as soon as she tried to do that, pretty much blew up. All the concentrated energy within this thing exploded. Its eyes just ruptured, fire everywhere. It fell over. The Duchess was killed, and out of the fiery remains of the Vanandad, this gargantuan being made of pure fire emerged. There were like a few fire giants that were still alive, and they immediately stopped fighting, and they were absolutely terrified of this. They recognized it as Megara, the Dawn Titan, which was basically a primordial from the dawn of time, who had been essentially enslaved by Zalto to power the Vanandad. And now it was out. Both fire giants and storm giants immediately noped the hell out of there, saying, get out. So you guys followed suit. The primordial just kind of went wild, and it went looking for any of the fire giants that had enslaved it and kept it prisoner. Pretty much went on a rampage throughout Iron Slag. And Groot was very brave while this was going on. Instead of fleeing in the opposite direction, he actually went into Iron Slag and managed to rescue the few remaining slaves that were still held captive there and lead them to safety outside. And as soon as he did, the front doors were then shut, offering you guys at least some temporary protection from this raging primordial. But that was pretty much where we left things, with the doors of Iron Slag sealed and this primordial closed within. But it's now kind of up to you guys. Hecaton's at kind of a loss here. He suspects that there's probably, other than the slaves that Groot managed to free, it's very unlikely that any creatures are still alive within the mine.
Right. Yeah.
He does not think that the Megara is strong enough to break through these doors, because they're, it's not just adamantium doors. They're also protected with magic. They can't even be opened without knowing the command word. But there are other exits to the mine as well.
Yeah. We know.
Yeah, exactly. You guys had kind of explained to him how you'd gotten in and out, and so what he thinks probably would be best is for you guys to lead him there along with the storm giants, and that you just seal off the top, basically prevent anyone, seal off the tunnels themselves.
Sure.
He's not sure how long that will keep it from escaping. And he also asks if you guys know, because obviously the primordial wasn't always here. It must have been transported here at some point, and he asks if you guys know anything about that.
What about those drow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We tell him about that whole thing in the container that he said. We overheard him saying, "Don't drop it or else," kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think those drow trapped it originally somehow.
Right. Well, if you guys, remember, you didn't actually see what it was. You were there.
Right.
But we
Yep.
just
Right,
heard.
exactly. You were kind of there during this that whole transaction, and what you suspect was this kind of handing off of whatever it was
Something.
containing him, but you never actually saw what it was.
Right.
So while the storm giants are busy sealing up the tunnel, after you guys point out, the entrance to the mines and everything, and so the storm giants enlist the surviving fire giants who are, at this point they don't have a, Duke Zalto's dead, the Duchess is dead.
They don't have a
Yeah,
home.
presumably their only surviving daughter is also dead somewhere inside Ironslag. So they're not too much of a choice there. So for their lives, they're willing to definitely fall into line and help out. And so while they're doing that, Duke Zalto's body is still. Well, no, actually, his body was inside. He died inside the front doors.
Yep.
So you can't even go and examine that to see if you can find the if he still has that on him.
Yep.
So, he's not sure what the best course of action is here, but if they can seal the tunnel, he thinks that hopefully that will hold it for a while, and just kind of send the word out, hey, don't go in there.
Don't go that way.
Ironslag is condemned, essentially. He doesn't know, if how long the Dawn Titan will stay there or if it will at all. But unless you guys have any other ideas about how it might be constrained, he thinks.
Nope.
Yeah, that's probably
Fill
the best.
Fill it with water.
Let me try my banishment spell. I'm sure that'll do it on on the Dawn Titan.
Well, if there was a logical way that he could fill it with water. I mean, there are a lot of passages leading down. That's the thing too. Is he fills they've blocked the one passage that you guys knew about leading down there, but there may be other fissures or natural.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Could take a whole lot of water.
Start creating it, there, buddy.
The immediate threat, though, hopefully will be contained by this. So anyway, there's not much else in terms of the surviving fire giants to go over. They'll Hecaton had agreed that half the force was going to accompany him on with you guys to the desert, and half was going to remain here at Ironslag.
But that's not the case.
Right. Well, as of this point, he doesn't see much point in guarding Ironslag at this point. He maybe would station. Excuse me. He would maybe hire some others in the area to keep watch over it. Perhaps he'll try and get in touch with the dwarves to see if they can spare anyone. But he's more inclined to just send out a warning to avoid the area altogether.
Could we send a sending to the ship?
Which ship?
Our old airship.
Well, if you recall, you guys had.
Or are they fixing it?
It's still under repair.
Oh,
yeah, it was going to take weeks to repair it because the balloon was completely destroyed, so they have to basically fabricate a new one. And the ship had suffered a bit of damage, but most of it was still intact enough that they're still undergoing repair. They do estimate it'll be probably another 5 to 7 days before it's something that they can fly it around.
Right.
They are receiving help from the storm giants with that though, so you guys aren't like having to pay for any of this. What were you going to message them for?
They could patrol it if they were able to, because he said he wanted somebody to keep an eye on it, so we could do that from the air. But if it's going to be another 5 days, I mean, we want somebody to watch it now, I would think, right?
Well, yeah, again, it's more of a matter of like a warning system for the locals
Right.
than anything. Yeah,
In case this thing escapes.
right, exactly.
Basically.
He doesn't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's immediate. It immediately took out its rage on its captors, but if they're all dead now, he has no idea what its intentions are or if it's just going to quiet down.
Would they have the ability to go back to like their own plane?
If it wants to, he doesn't know. He doesn't know much about it other than the rumors of it being around. The fire giants actually know more about it because it's more in line with their element. Right. It's it's basically a raw element. It's like an elder elemental from before way before the giants even were around. It kind of, like I said, it's a primordial. It's a being that existed before the dawn of time type of thing. And what it wants or might want to do, and
who knows?
Its motives may be inscrutable. But for the moment anyway, it does seem to have quieted down. Perhaps it's found solace in the forge of Ironslag, which was lit at the time.
Oh, this is so nice and warm. I like it so much.
So perhaps it's just kind of resting now and deciding what it wants to do. So anyway, you guys are kind of talking all this over, and you're standing next to Hecaton, and you hear this sound that's kind of like a sighing cry, kind of deep, but kind of also almost melancholy, and you recognize it as whale song. Hecaton reaches into his giant's bag and pulls out another one of his conchas, and he actually raises it up to his ear and says, "Speak." Apparently he has a whale song as his ringtone.
Nice.
So he stands listening silently for a moment, and you see his lips kind of tightening, and after about a minute or so, he says, "A moment, Uther. The small folk need to hear this." He kind of motions you guys over, and he lowers the conch down to the ground. He's still holding it. It's not like I'm going to put you on speaker type thing.
Right.
That's more or less what he's doing. He instructs you guys to place your hands on the conch too, kind of similar to if you were going to teleport, except instead of touching each other, you're all kind of touching the conch.
Got it.
So if you do that, nothing immediately changes, but you're kind of startled to suddenly hear Hecaton's voice, not above you, but actually in your head, as if he was kind of speaking inside your mind. Uther, tell them what you've told me. So there's a moment later, the voice of Uther fills your head as well, also as clear, no matter how distant he was, despite him being like...
Is that the brother?
Yes. Uther is Hecaton's brother, who has been essentially holding the fort while Hecaton's been gone. He says, as I was saying, we've been on high alert since your return and departure. You've been told us we should be guarding against any kind of unexpected arrival from the teleportation circle, since the conches have obviously fallen into others' hands. But it seems like we were right to do that. But as of this morning, not one but 3 unexpected guests came through and arrived in the circle. All 3 of them were cloud giants. There was an adult male and 2 children. The male claimed to be a Count Tholan, brother to the Countess Sansuri.
Yeah.
And the children, he said, were the Countess's 2 children. Anyway, he said that he had stolen his sister's conch to flee, and he had an urgent message that he needed to deliver for your ears only. But he also asked if the small folk were with you as well, because he had a message for them as well. So
Nice.
That seems apparent. He wouldn't say anything more except that you should surround yourself with some sort of a method to not be detected by scrying as soon as possible. So, what are your orders?
Do we have a way to protect ourselves from scrying?
Yeah, Hekaton kind of raises an eyebrow and says, I was going to ask the same thing. I don't have anything like that. Do you?
Do we? I don't.
Well, that hut, does that prevent that?
Does it?
I don't know. I'm just
Let me look.
throwing that out there. I doubt it.
Let's see. That seems like a
Pretty high level spell.
Yeah. I would think.
yeah.
So the scrying, there's a wisdom save for scrying, right?
Yep,
Probably.
there is if the DM allows it.
Okay.
If the DC, I mean, it's basically an opposed roll, so it could be that the DC was too high.
Oh, spells and other magical effects cannot extend through the dome or be cast through it.
Nice.
So yes, that would basically effectively work. I mean, it's
Thank you.
if someone wanted to scry the area outside the dome,
Did you get
they
some?
could, but they couldn't penetrate
Sure.
the hut itself.
They couldn't
And,
scry
and I
us.
believe we had already discussed this. We had talked about sound, and I think we had said that the sound does go through.
Yeah, it doesn't
Right,
say anything
right.
about sound.
Yep.
But
So it would, if it was a like an audible sensor, it would pick up any conversations you guys might be having
Sure.
if it was outside, but it would not be able
Or-
to see
or-
inside because it's an opaque surface. And obviously wouldn't
And
be
they
able to
couldn't-
tell.
yeah.
It wouldn't be able to appear within as well because that's penetrating it effectively.
So could we scry back? I mean, I have the spell. Could we just scry back and look for the daughter that
Or whoever's casting it.
No, well, to scry on somebody, you got to know them, get something, right? So we met the advisor, right? The one that nobody liked.
Well, Mithiri, aka the
Sure.
dragon.
Yeah, and then or the daughter, we met them
Yeah, we did.
firsthand. That
Oh,
helps,
the two, yeah.
and we could scry back, see what they're doing.
I don't
Maybe it could
think
be
they're
good.
doing the scrying. I think the cloud giant lady is scrying.
Hekaton speaks up and says, things have been set in motion here. Uther, we can't afford the delay at returning to Maelstrom, but I need to speak with this Thulin immediately. Here's what you should do. Take care of the Countess's children, treat them well, make sure nothing happens to them. But in the meantime, have an armed escort use the meditation chamber, bring that Count here, directly to Ironslag, in front of the doors, where we will speak to him immediately. We've sealed the doors to Ironslag themselves, so they're going to have to target the ground. Yes, I know there's a chance of a teleportation mishap, but we don't have time for anything else. Do you guys?
Okay.
You guys don't have any means to protect scrying. Actually, Uther, in Sarissa's room, look for there should be a small glass globe with a petrified starship in it. It was a gift from her mother. Tell the guards to bring that. That might come in handy. I will expect their arrival within the hour. And after we speak, I'll make contact again, but until then, within his hands. And he picks up the conch and puts it in his giant's bag again. Click. Click.
So, actually, I can find out if the elemental is behind that door. I still have commune with nature,
Mm-hmm.
and anything within 3 miles and elementals.
Yes,
Gain
that-
knowledge of
yes.
prefix of my choice. I want to
Yeah,
find out,
that's-
is he still active? Where is he? Like its location.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ritual, so I could cast it without using a spell. So
Sure. Yeah, it's going to take him a little bit of time
Right.
to bring the
Teleport.
count here. So yeah, you have some time to do that if you want to do that.
So I will cast that as ritual, and I want to find out where the that demigod, or I forget what his name was.
Megara the Dawn Titan.
Megara the Dawn Titan. where he is in Iron Slug. Has he calmed down? So, where is he? What is he doing?
Okay. So, all right. So first off, doesn't function where nature has been replaced with construction, such as dungeons and towns.
Oh, well, there you go. That doesn't work then.
Yeah, you would know that, but I mean, it doesn't matter because you would have had to ritual cast it. So, you would be able to rule out if it was outside of Iron Slug.
Yeah, I guess sure. Let's do that.
All right, so you cast it, and yeah, immediately you don't get any impression. For whatever reason, it is limited to not function within any worked stone. That seems like kind of an arbitrary thing about the spell, but yeah, you definitely get the impression that if it was outside of Iron Slug, anywhere within the 3-mile radius or 3-mile vicinity, you would know because it was pretty damn powerful.
Okay. I'll tell that to the group that, well, he's not outside.
And you don't hear anything. Like for a while it seemed to be actively like hunting the the dungeons of Iron. Yeah, you were hearing all sorts of like screams and like smashes and
a lot of Wilhelm screams.
Yeah. Destruction of the interiors. All that's quieted down though. So you suspect that either it has left altogether, like left the plane maybe, or it has settled down in the forge or something, because it's not doing anything otherwise at the moment.
Maybe it's taking a nap after all that killing.
Yes. When I've slaughtered a bunch of fire giants, I like to relax by sitting my ass in an internal flame.
Right.
It's like a spa. It's a little taste of home.
Oh, that takes the kink out of the old back right there.
All right. So, speaking of this, I'll grab my dice here so that I can roll for a teleportation spell. Let's see. Seen casually. Fly casual.
What do you mean? I don't know.
Fly casual. Let's see. Ooh, there's a pretty hefty chance of failure here. What's gonna happen?
Great.
Oh my God! A perfect 100. Okay. I'm not shitting. I was like
God.
0, 0, 0. Okay.
Does he meld into stone?
Yeah. All right. So they not only appear right where he told them to, they are like literally right. They appear directly in front of you. You recognize Count Tholen because he introduced himself to you when you guys visited the Lynn Armaal, the castle of the Cloud Giants. And with him are 4 additional storm giants to guard him. After kind of like recovering from the teleportation, he let's see what happens. So Tholen, he looks kind of nervous, but he's unharmed. One of the guards hands Hecaton the glass ball that he asked for, which to you guys is basically like as big as an iron pot, like soup pot. So he kind of touches that and whispers a few words. The starfish inside the glass glows a little bit, and then he tells the Count, "There, now no one will see or hear us in the immediate vicinity. Now, please explain yourself."
What the hell is going on out here?
Yeah, so Tholen, he kind of bows low and thanks Hecaton for the audience, and then kind of goes into a pretty long monologue, which I had to write out because he has a lot of information to provide. So he says, for many decades, I've been content to remain in the shadow of my big sister. I've never desired lordship over others, and while some would claim that my sister's rule is cruel, none have really questioned the comfort that has come with it. For me, the comfort was in being able to help raise Altrash and Kalthar, her 2 children, and to tend to the plants and the other growing things around the castle, since she seemed to show no interest in either. But while I couldn't influence her behavior, perhaps I could, maybe instill in her children a seed of just perhaps a little bit less ruthless of a future for the giant kind. But it was the arrival of these fine small folk here to Armaal that really changed things. Their visit was fairly routine, but after they left, the dragon Felgalos, who'd been taken prisoner by my sister, was freed. Which I'm assuming was due to you fine folk. Whether or not you intended that pretty much infuriated her more than anything I've ever seen in the last 100 or so years. She's not exactly...
Well, we did it because Felgalos was our friend and helped us, so we had to help him.
Well, she's not that my sister's ever been known for her even temper. She vowed she was not going to rest until she could be sure each and every single one of you were spending the remainder of your lives in agonizing suffering. She wasn't happy.
All right. So good. We got that to look forward to.
Anyway, so even in her rage, she remembered very well the story that you told her. Specifically, she recalled the fact that Duke Zalto had another dragon's eye in his possession and that he had some drow in his employ. It took very little effort on her part to infiltrate Iron Slag and convince these drow that an alliance with her would be a whole lot more profitable. And without Zalto even knowing that she was aware of the situation, she pretty much immediately learned of his plans for the Vanandad and hatched a plan to not only ensure the fire giants would fail in their ambitions, but also, pretty much keep her happy for more giant artifacts. So the drow...
What do they get?
The drow delivered to Zalto what they claimed to be the second dragon's eye, when in reality, not only was it a fake, but they took the one that was in the Vanandad and brought it to...
the one that we had.
Yeah.
Originally.
They brought it to Countess Sinsuri. They also managed to steal the container that they'd used to imprison and safely deliver Megara the Dawn Titan. So... with this combination of factors, my sister felt pretty sure that the moment Zalto attempted to use the Vanandad, that was it for him. And from what I can see around here, it looks like that might have been the case.
Yep.
Well, in any case, my sister must have rewarded the drow pretty handsomely, because they decided to stick around after all the thefts. And they moved into Armaal pretty much full time. It seemed like they were actually fairly familiar with you, small folk, and actually somehow had some items that were formerly in your possession. So,
probably.
That pretty much granted them an essentially unlimited ability to constantly scry on you.
Right.
And that was used by my sister to keep tabs on every move that you've been making since. And through that, she was able to learn about all the events that transpired at Maelstrom. So when your daughter Sarissa was immobilized and this mysterious Mithuri vanished, and your other daughters fled, she deemed it was pretty much time to set into action her own plans. And what she wants is nothing less than cloud giant supremacy. Anyway, Spencer's been collecting ancient artifacts of Astoria since time I can't remember how long. And one of these artifacts was the Nightstone. This obelisk had a lot of properties, but one of them, while most of the properties, from what I understand, were defensive in nature, it could also be used offensively, but at a pretty high cost. Apparently, it could drain the life energy of a giant and channel that giant's affinity into a destructive elemental force. My sister had recovered the Nightstone quite a long time ago, and she apparently found a way to control and direct its energy. All she needed was a sacrificial giant. And it didn't take long for her spies to find and locate and abduct your daughter. Your daughter Mirren is now hold prisoner at Armaal, and my sister plans to use her to fuel the Nightstone in some sort of destructive display of power. I don't know what her first target is, but she said that she knows exactly who helped the small folk and that they would rue the day that they crossed her. That was last week. I don't know how long Sansuri expected you to remain ignorant of what had happened to your daughters, but I finally knew that what I should have known all along, that my sister's drive for power and vengeance will mean the end of not just her, but of all those who side with her. I can face the consequences of my own inaction, but her children are innocent. I couldn't bear them dying for her mother's ambitions. So I was able to steal her conch and use it to flee Maelstrom. And I'm hoping that I've done so in time that she can be stopped.
I detect new quest detected. Looks like we're making a detour to Armaal.
Well, yeah, Hekaton has not really said a word during all of this, and it looks like he's got a very strong inner debate going on.
So she kidnapped only one of the twins?
One of the daughters. Yeah, one of the twins. Yep.
That makes no sense.
Well, I guess she only needed one.
Yeah, but
If one of them's getting cahoots.
It wasn't clear that the two were together when she was found.
yeah, true. Yeah.
I say, well, Your Highness, this would seem to present a very immediate problem that needs to be dealt with.
That's what's been running through my head. If my daughters did indeed betray Storm Giant kind, if they murdered my wife and led directly to the paralysis of my sister for their own ambitions, they have committed the highest form of treason known to giant kind.
Isn't the princess's daughter too? Like the one that's
yes,
paralyzed?
Princess Sarissa is the daughter that was
Sarissa.
she was the daughter that he had named next in line for succession.
Right.
And
Right.
Nim and Mirren
Yeah.
were
And the twins didn't
That's what I
like it.
thought.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. You said sister. So I think okay. I was confused there for a
Oh,
second.
sorry, yeah. I don't remember what I said, but yes, it's
Their sister.
right, exactly. What they did,
Got it.
they conspired against Sarissa as soon as they learned that she was going to be next in line. They are my daughters, but
They're also your enemies at this point. If they killed their own mother, there should.
Yep.
I couldn't fathom that.
I could assemble the Cloud Giants. We could mount a full-on assault of Armaal and ultimately bring it down. But even if I did so, Mirren would likely perish in the attack anyway, as with many of the other Cloud Giants and their mounts, which we will be needing if we are to assault Ymrith. What do I do? This is a terrible choice. Do I sacrifice the future of my other daughter? Or do I sacrifice Mirren?
Well, they were split up. So the only thing that I'm thinking, and you know, is if they're separated, I think the other daughter is with the dragon, and maybe she's the one that was conspiring, and this daughter that was kidnapped is basically a casualty. Maybe she wasn't even, she might have known and whatnot and went along with it, but then who knows? I mean, it's hard to say. But I think the other daughter is probably with Limrith. What do you guys think?
I think you're right. The other daughter's with the dragon.
Yeah, I do too. I think she's in cahoots.
It's difficult to judge because obviously my daughters have been deceptive since they were very young. And I knew this. It's just part of the reason why I chose Sarissa over them in naming my succession. But I can't imagine that they would willingly go along with the dragon. The dragons are the ancient enemies of all giant kind.
They can be very persuasive.
Yeah, and maybe they don't even know she's a dragon.
Correct? Yeah.
She could be lying to them.
It is a possibility. So I still must weigh what resources I wish to devote to this, to recovering and making sure that my named successor, my daughter Sarissa, is not consumed, is not forever trapped on the Wormskull throne, and to bring
Right.
Ymrith herself to justice before she causes more trouble.
Go kill Imran.
Um,
That's my vote.
Well, so what Thulin says is that he doesn't know what exactly his sister where she's going, but she definitely had the air about her that she was going to use this artifact
Weapon.
on someone or something near and dear to you, the small folk. He doesn't know where she's going.
She's going after Rilix.
Well, it would be near and dear to us.
Yeah.
His sister's paranoia, it doesn't know any bounds, but through her artifacts, she basically has covered Lin Armaal up with essentially an illusory dome, which can render it effectively invisible. But Thulin has in his possession something that it's kind of like a magical homing beacon that he left in his quarters that he can use to find the castle.
Left an air
Yes,
tag.
exactly.
Nice.
And if he could be guaranteed that Sansuri's children would not suffer for the actions of their mother, and that they would be raised and taken care of, he would agree to accompany any form of infiltration or attack that you or anybody wanted to do to make sure that his sister, her ambition is finally checked. When he left, the castle was high above the clouds, above the Evermoors, and it seemed to be heading in the direction of Yarder.
We have any Yarder.
Here, I'll put
Don't we own property in Yarder?
Isn't that the first place that we like? This is the hill giant place, right?
Yeah. I mean, the first place was Nightstone, where they
Oh,
got
right,
that
right. But the
artifact.
town where they had the
Yeah.
hill giants attack.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Nightstone was down on the map, down here.
Yeah.
Or Yarder.
was over by the
well,
sea coast.
Yarder is where the Harpers are.
Yeah. True.
She's
right.
not going to go whack on the Harpers, is she?
Maybe.
And also, we're not allowed? Is it Yarder
We
that
know
we're
of-
not allowed back into for a while till things cool down? Since that one dude's head exploded.
Well, you did escape with the help of the Thieves Guild And
Yes.
pretty much we're told that if you were to show your face there again, you probably would be arrested on sight. But yes, the there is a node to the Harper network there as well.
Would she go
Can't
with
we
this?
teleport in there using teleportation circle?
We can.
Anywhere with a node, we can teleport.
I guess I'm asking, is there one in Yarder?
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there is, but
Yep.
it's not like the Harper's like main base, is it?
But
Right.
didn't
Whoa.
somebody just say that she was
Yep.
headed towards
The heck was
Yarder?
that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter why she's headed there. We can still teleport there.
Yeah, and see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's again, he doesn't know what the full power of this thing is, but she seemed to have she had the air of someone who was plotting not just a little bit of trouble, but something kind of more apocalyptic in nature.
Something, something big.
Um, but yeah, so as far as what your ultimate goal would be, I mean, Tholen thinks that the only thing, your best bet is to probably stop it from even breaching the city, if that's her intent, is to commit some sort of a genocidal act on the city of Yarder with this thing.
Right. Well, I don't think we have a choice. I think we have to go after that before we go after the dragon.
Well, there's always a choice.
Yeah, there is. I mean,
Hecaton says that
but
he will
I don't
support.
know if it's ours to make.
Well, no, it is. It is your choice because he will support whichever you guys wish to do. He doesn't think that it would be wise to commit a full-scale attack on the castle.
But if we could intercept her at Yarder,
He would be willing to send some of his his storm giants along, riding rocks to accompany you guys if you want, but that would it would take them too long to get there. Rocks travel at basically 72 miles a day, and
Yeah.
from what Tholen said, the castle was probably. I mean, the castle moves slow. It's like 1 mile an hour, but that it moves continuously. It doesn't have to stop and
Right.
rest. He said that it was probably about, if it kept traveling on the trajectory when he left, it would reach Yarder in about 2 days.
What's it going to do at Yarder, though, is the question,
Well,
I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but finding the dragon, we don't know where they are either, right?
Correct.
So maybe
We have an idea.
maybe going to Yarder and seeing what happens there. Maybe that'll lead us to clues to go where the dragon is, right?
Maybe. What happens if we get to Yarder and the castle appears, and then what? Because we can't really get to the castle if we don't have a way up there. Or can we? I guess we could transform into creatures and fly up there.
Maybe the dragon, what's his name, will be there. Can we get
Felgalos?
do a sending to
Yeah.
Felgalos?
Yeah,
Saying that we
that's
think
true.
there's going to be trouble in Yarder, and your old pal.
And you want
Well,
revenge?
Sansuri's got
Yeah. No.
You
shit,
could do
yeah,
you could do a
right.
sending. I mean, all the allies we could
Yep.
take would be good.
Yep. Exactly.
could do that.
I
Let's
vote
get the
that
gang back
since we
together.
don't know where the dragon is, so we can't. I want to help King Hecaton, but if we don't know where to go, then
Yeah.
this is directly in front of us. Let's do that.
And it seems like Sansuri is itching to really mess stuff up and needs to be stopped.
We want to protect the weak.
That's right.
And if his party wants to go find out where this amphitheater is and whatnot, and just do surveillance until we're done. We'll be happy to accompany him on infiltration and whatnot.
Mhm.
And we can use sending to communicate in the meantime, or or can we use like the conch that we have to communicate with you like we did earlier?
That feature is something that is more of that he can do to essentially create a telepathic bond.
Sure.
Well, what if we
Okay.
just said we'll contact you every day with a sending to give you a status update if something changes? We'll do another sending, but at that time, you can tell us what you're doing, and we'll try and tell you what we're doing.
Yes, I think that would be wise, and we will need to do some scouting to find out exactly where this amphitheater is. Although it sounds like, based on you guys had been to the ruins of Astoria already. In fact, you saw the two adult blue dragons, who you assumed were Ymrith's children, in these dwarven
Right.
ruins. You
Yeah.
did not. Supposedly, the amphitheater is located some distance further east from the ruins of the city. So you never got close enough to really see it. So that still needs to be found, and in a way that doesn't alert the dragons or Ymrith. So there's going to need to be some scouting done, and that could be taken care of while you guys are investigating this. But he's curious what your actual plan is.
Well,
We don't
We-
really make plans.
but I think we should do a sending to Felgalos and say, hey, stuff's gonna be going down at Yarder. You might want to show up and get a little revenge and get the Harpers involved. Basically everyone we can muster as potential allies.
Another sending we should do?
What's that?
A sending to Sansuri and say, we're coming for
Coming.
you, fucker.
Could be fun.
Yeah.
It could be really fun. Hey, we heard you looking. We heard you looking for us. We're coming to find you.
Mhm.
Or we just ask her to meet up.
Yeah.
Hey, want to do
Hey.
hook up in Yarder? So cool.
Yeah. I'd love to hook up with you.
XOXO.
Well, again, if you want to infiltrate the castle, there's a few things. Well, you guys know a little bit about how the flying castles work.
Yeah.
Every castle has a navigation orb that it's basically the central mechanism that keeps it aloft.
Okay.
If you remember Zephyros's tower,
Yeah.
when Ymrith attacked that, or who you presume to be Ymrith, the ancient blue dragon attacked it, she destroyed the navigation orb, which brought down the entire tower.
Nice. Right.
Now the orb that controls the Armaal is much more powerful, and even if it was destroyed, it's unlikely it would cause the castle to crash. Normally, when a navigation orb is damaged or removed, the castle simply stops. Essentially becomes immobile until a new orb is replaced or the original orb is returned. But
yeah, which would seriously dampen their ability.
We've been to their castle. Why don't we just teleport direct to their castle instead of going to Yarder?
Yeah, we could, couldn't we?
We could probably teleport to the room where the dragon was.
True.
Do we have a teleport spell? I thought we only had a teleportation circle.
We do, but I thought didn't someone had a dimension door?
I have dimension door as well. Yes.
You don't have teleport though, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, teleportation circle.
Right, yeah, that one.
That one.
But that just goes to a
But you have to.
How did
Right.
we escape from Ironslag that time where we transported all those hostages when we were in that nest that we had killed the whatever out of?
We ferried things back and forth.
Yeah, but at one point I thought we teleported or stepped through some circle to get us somewhere.
Right, the teleportation circle does that.
Oh.
That teleport is I want to go to this location.
Okay.
Teleportation circle is I need to go to that other teleportation circle.
Yeah.
Right. It's a
okay.
preset location. That's
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
and right
okay.
now Samuel has access. Basically, all the nodes of the Harper network are known to him and part of basically a valid destination for him to choose for his spell. He could consecrate an area eventually, or not consecrate, but basically, with a lot of study and preparation and essentially preparing of an area, he could eventually possibly create another teleportation
Create a
node.
new one, right?
But it would be a
Says
it
huge
takes
expense. Yeah,
a year.
exactly. It's it's like a year's worth of time, and yeah.
You have to cast teleportation circle on that same location every day for
Yep.
1 year.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So big no on that.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it is handy when you
Oh,
know
well.
where you need to go.
Right.
So if you can prevent, if you can get to the navigation orb, and Thulin knows where the navigation orb is. He knows that it's in one of the levels. That's one of the grass topped levels. In fact, I think it's atop one of the roofs, or not the roofs. I mean, basically, it's a castle with multiple layers, and
Mm-hmm.
like the main circular portion of the castle, atop its roof there was like a grassy area, and at the center of that there was like a smaller circular area or some circular room, raised room. And he says that's where the teleportation orb is. He knows that, the navigation orb. He does know that it's arcane locked, the door to it, but otherwise.
Oh yeah, our thief will handle that.
I don't
wait.
think that's how that works.
We don't have a thief anyway.
Got a giant ape that can beat the shit out of the building.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, it would take you a
Yep.
while, considering.
There's 2 giant apes we could have doing that.
Actually, we could have 3.
Oh, there you go. 3 giant apes.
That's a lot of giant apes.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
definitely with enough time, you could certainly eventually break your way through a
So
stone
how
wall.
about we go to Yarder? Let's pick up some scrolls. Let's see if they got scrolls. Got a teleportation scroll. They got a
Right.
knock scroll. I don't know. Let's ask.
Yeah,
Hire somebody.
but
Yeah.
we'll have to hang outside the city unless we're going to disguise ourselves to go in.
We can teleport to the Harpers,
Oh, that's right, and just stay in
Yeah,
there.
and they're the
Okay.
ones that are going to have the crap that we want, probably.
Yep.
Right. Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Is
I like this
anyone
plan.
else coming with us?
Um,
Any of the giants or the fire giants want to fight?
Fire
With us,
giants
or-
wouldn't go with you unless they were ordered to. They would probably not make
I
very
don't think they'd like
friendly
us.
allies.
Yeah, I don't think they like us. very
Oh,
much.
hey, we didn't kill them, did we?
Well, we could get storm giants to go through the teleportation circle.
Yeah, and Hackathon would be willing to send 2 of his party with you, or 2 of the strike force with you.
Sure.
However, he's not sure what they would do once they arrived. They would stand out like a sore thumb. You wouldn't be able to carry a storm giant in bird form, that's for sure.
No.
No, not for long.
But he would be, if you had a plan to somehow get them to where a battle was, he would be
What
willing to
about
send
that?
Cloud, basically, that's pretty fast.
It says 10 willing creatures. It doesn't say size.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only 6th level spell, so it wouldn't have Hero's Feast, but I think that's okay. And I think that would basically get us to,
Anywhere, yeah.
well, at least to get us on top. So you can't do anything in that form, but it would get us up there. Then we have to change back. We would not be able to. I wouldn't be able to take us back that way.
Right.
You're gonna get down.
Correct.
But it would
Yeah.
get us there, so it's a one-way trip.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the question is yeah, if you get there, what do you do once you get there?
Right. And that's what I was saying. Go to Yarder. If it's an arcane lock, then let's look for an knock spell, and then I don't know. Something that would help us get in and help destroy at least a knock spell would be good.
Well, you guys figure, as far as resources go, I mean, the teleportation node in Yarder was pretty bare bones. I mean, the wizard there was, he had a few things on hand, but he was more like into like researching and he's basically just kind of like more of an outpost, essentially the guardian of the teleportation node. If you're looking for like supplies, like magical supplies, you'd probably be much better off going to Everland to Moongleam Tower directly, where they know you. And well, I mean, not that they don't know you, but they have resources there. And as a harper, you, Samuel, you can certainly ask for help and assistance.
Well, since we think we might a day, then go into Everland. I have no idea how many teleportation circles he can cast, but get to Everland and then we go to Yarder, right? It's not like we're walking there.
Once we're there, well, I can cast 2 per day, first of all, but once we're there, we can just use the network.
Exactly.
Oh, so we can get from Everland to Yarder.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, then that I like the DM's suggestion.
I was going to have you roll an intuition check, but you guys, this is kind of like not your first rodeo. You've done this before too. So yeah, I mean, Kolbaz is the older dude that runs the node in Yarder. And, like I said, while he's nice, it's not like he has a stockpile of potions or scrolls or, I'm sure he's got a few, and he probably would have arcane lock if he could probably dig a arcane lock scroll up. But if you guys are looking for anything more specialized, definitely you've got possibly, if you move now anyway, you've got possibly time. The thing's moving he said it moves at 1 mile an hour, so it's not moving fast, but it's moving steady.
So could we maybe do a sending to that node and say, hey, we need this, and this?
Well, who's going to be doing all these sending spells? You've mentioned several.
I don't know.
That would be me.
How many you got?
I got 3 I can cast.
Well, I don't know why we would need a sending spell to Everland. And we're going to be there in 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like they have to get ready for it. So let's just go.
Shit.
Yeah, you've certainly dropped in unindicted before.
I think a sending spell to Felgalos would be great.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
And 2 giant helpers, since this 10 willing creatures, you add 2 giants, we are now 7. We're good to go. At least this. If we can get Felgalos into Windwalk too, that'd be freaking awesome. Dragon, a couple of storm giants, all dropping in the garden.
So, yeah, sure. If you want to go ahead, do you want to do that before you teleportation circle or after?
Sure. We'll do ascending.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so you're going to cast ascending to Felgalos. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead and what message did you want to send?
Let's see. Sansuri headed to Yarder are preparing to battle her there. Will be how many words? I gotta look up how many words.
Oh, my network just dropped. That was
Oh,
weird.
we still hear you.
Yeah, it was. Everyone fell quiet, and it's like, and then I saw
What?
you were not connected to the internet on my browser. I'm like, what the hell? And then I heard Tim
That's
clear his
weird.
throat, so it was just a momentary dip. That was weird. 25 words
All
for
right.
sending. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Oh, okay, so Sansari headed to Yarder. We are preparing to battle her there. Will you join us? Who wants to roll? Does somebody want to roll a D100? If not, I'll pick at random.
Why don't you let Don do it since he's doing the
Yeah.
sending?
Okay, sure,
Yeah.
Don.
Oh.
Sure.
Give me a percentile.
Oh, all right. Let's
What the
see
hell?
what roll 20's gonna do to me today. Brrr, bam.
Right in the middle, 53.
Could
Got
be
a
better, could be
50-50
worse.
chance.
You get an out of office auto reply.
Yeah, I always wondered about the mechanics of sending.
We
Like you're,
value your call. Please
you're in the
leave a
middle of
message.
something. You're asleep. Like what happens? Does it just like
What?
What?
What was that?
Falglos is currently hibernating.
you're in the
back.
middle of taking a dump and all of a sudden bah!
Ah!
What's in my head?
Get out of my head.
I just took this hallucinogenic mushrooms and now I'm hearing voices.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Okay, give me a second here.
Those animals were delightful.
Okay.
I need to go pee quick.
Okay. That's the response you get.
Okay.
Okay.
We know the
That's
cemetery?
perfect.
What was that, Tim?
Yeah, we
Do
know
we
where the
know the
cemetery
cemetery?
is.
Okay.
Yes. Well,
We
I'll
had
pull up.
we had an ill-fated battle there.
No, that wasn't ill-fated. You managed to
Well, that's
recover
right.
an artifact
The
for
giant
Zoldan.
slayer. That's true.
Still
That's
paid
true.
it for somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
For the corrupt king or captain,
Captain
of
of
the
the guard,
guards,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah. And his compatriots. But yeah, that's where you helped recover the
Giant slayer.
Oblivion Orb or whatever it was called for Zoldaz. Anyway, yeah, that's the response you get from Felgos. I don't know if sending conveys any kind of tone or if it's more like, like an internet message. You can't really tell. But you can almost read between the lines. There's like a sense of eagerness there. Like, oh yeah, let me.
Oh yeah.
I am so there.
Nice.
Of course, we didn't tell him about the big blue dragon.
I don't
Yeah,
think
she may or may not be there.
I don't
She
think
probably
they'll
won't
be there. That would be.
Okay, so
never know.
you've cast your sending.
So to be able to do do this spell, just FYI, I got to take a long rest. Just FYI.
Well,
have
I
we-
do. I
we have
should
the
too, so
chance?
we can all reload on spell slots and.
Well, we have
Yes.
2 days, right? We can get to
Yeah.
Yarder
Yep.
and bed down.
And down at the Harpers.
Yeah. All right. Now, as of right now, Felgos said that he's going to meet you there at the cemetery at 8
In 8 hours.
Well,
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
We can rest for 8 hours.
Bam.
Do you want to rest for 8 hours and then go to Yarder?
No, we've got to go to Everland and get the knock spell
All
And,
right. all
and
right.
what other artifacts we can
and
load up
whatever
with?
else we need for the assault.
All right.
Yes.
And then we can go to Yarder. I mean, it's a shopping trip. If they don't got it,
Yep.
it's an hour, and we
Right.
wasted
Got
our
it.
time.
All
and
right.
move on.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good.
So, all right. So Thulin is going to accompany you. He's a cloud giant.
Nice.
Mhm.
Hekaton will send 2 of his troops with you. Those are
Okay.
storm giants.
No.
Yep.
They will fit in in Everland's teleportation circle chamber, you're not 100% sure they're gonna fit in Yarder's. You think they will, but there may not be a way for them to get out because it's basically kind of under his villa.
Right.
What if they crouch down?
Is there like a shrink person spell?
Enlarge, reduce. That's the word I was like.
And loose redarge. Oh, that one,
redarge.
yeah.
Reduce. That sounds druidy. Do I have that?
If not, then you actually remember. What's his name? Not Kelvin. I have to look up his name again. From Everland, he had a special variant of that spell actually that he created, but his spell book got stolen.
Oh yeah. By who? Sansuri.
So perhaps if you were to find that spell book there when you're at the castle, you could recover it and
return it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's like a buffed version that would have allowed, it basically allowed you to assume a lot more characteristics of like a giant than just boosting your size. The normal enlarge reduce you could probably get cast on you, or cast for you, or inscribed on a scroll or something.
Right.
There you go. To Everland.
To Everland. And worst case scenario, we do have polymorph.
Right.
Okay. So,
but anyway,
not Kelvin, Crowan was his name. So you guys do all right. So he, like I said, the Hecaton will send 2 of his troops with you, but he will send some of his others scouts out to try and find a more precise location in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
The Anarok Desert.
Sounds great.
But in the meantime, he will wait for your sending to move on. If he doesn't hear from you, like if you go like 2 days without contacting him or multiple days, he's going to kind of assume that you met an unsavory end and proceed on. But he's wishing you success, and he's rooting for you. In the meantime, so yes, you
go get him, Ray.
One thing. So, is there anything you would like to tell your kidnapped daughter that, so she could maybe trust us?
Well, that was the other thing he was going to ask is what you plan to do. It sounds like from what Thulan said that he knew that Mirren was essentially being held in shackles.
Right. I mean, we'd like to rescue her.
Yeah, and again, she seems to be a key to this use of the Nightstone as a weapon of mass destruction of some sort.
Correct.
So at the very least, Thulan is saying, yeah, you should probably get her, make sure that she's not a prisoner there to be used in that way, but also, and the 2 storm giants that are coming with you, they know that, this is basically, you will not be captured alive type of scenario either, because then Sansuri could presumably use them to, fuel this thing as well.
So here's a question. If we gave her, like, he stole the conch from his sister, could she use that conch to return to Maelstrom? Or is that all banned right now? Because I thought you did something there.
Well, again, it was just a matter of essentially telling all the giant lords that, hey, travel is forbidden. It's not like they could necessarily block people that had a conch from using it without destroying the conch. But basically, it's kind of like a no passing zone. It's like, hey, this, the door is closed. You may have a key to your friend's house, but if they say, if they're gone or something, or if they tell you not to enter their house, you're not just going to walk in necessarily.
Right.
Or
so because he has that conch, if we gave her that conch, she could basically teleport right to Maelstrom.
Yeah, the conscious though is in Maelstrom already. The giants took it from him when he arrived.
Oh shit! Damn
But
it.
we kept a conch.
You guys
Yeah,
have
we
two
have-
conches.
We have 2, right? So I mean,
That would probably be an ideal way to get any surviving storm giants, and
right,
probably
back there.
Thulin and preferably Mirren. I mean, basically, if you can keep the storm giants alive, they can escort Thulin and Mirren back to Maelstrom using one of the
Okay.
conches.
All right, good.
Well, actually, no. Conch takes 1 giant, and actually, no, sorry, 2 giants. A giant and a +1.
What if they're shrunk?
Reduced, yes, they could fit more because again, it's keyed off size.
Okay.
Well, then I guess it's really important that we find some extra reduce spells.
Yep, that'll come in handy. Yeah, definitely reduce is going to be a way for you guys to get a lot more bang for your buck out of the conches in terms of transport.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, he says he would like to know the truth from Mirren's lips, and even so, if she were to surrender and accompany you willingly back to Maelstrom, it's likely that she would be imprisoned, not, executed.
Right.
Especially if she helped you guys in any way, or help locate
Right.
her sister, or help free her sister in some way.
And that's what I'm wondering is there anything that you can tell us to say to her that only she would know it came from you? It's basically, like a memory or something that you two have together, that so she can trust us.
Yeah, he gets where you're going with that, and yeah, he tells you a story, like an abridged story of something that the two did growing up that only he or she would remember about her, maybe him gifting her killer whale mount for the first time, like for her 16th birthday or something like that.
All right, sure.
But some fond
Perfect.
memory that back when things were happier, and that
Right.
she would remember. So
Okay.
yeah, that's a good idea. So that she will know that you are kind of emissaries of him, and that he doesn't he doesn't have any ill will towards her,
Correct.
or at least
Right.
intends that he remembers her and is not going to slay her out of hand if she returns to Maelstrom.
Right.
Yep, good call. Yep, he provides that and thanks you again for everything that you've agreed to do with this. So yeah, if there's nothing else, then yeah, you've got Thulin, the 2 storm giant guards, and then the rest of you guys. Yeah, you are going to target Everland first, then.
Yep.
Yep.
The teleportation circle. Oops, we need a move tool for that. Okay, so you are teleported to the circle in Everland. As before, you appear, scaring the crap out of the harpers there stationed there, but they're not that surprised at this point. You've done this before. They do the usual, go and fetch Crowan. He's happy to see you and a little bit worried as usual that you've got a couple storm giants and a cloud giant with you, especially the cloud giant, because if you remember, the cloud giants infiltrated
Right.
Moongleam Tower before. So he's not especially happy to see them, or see
Right.
Thulin at least. But the fact that he's with you kind of assuages him a little bit. And so he's willing to listen to hear what you guys have to say.
Tell him what's going on, I guess. And
Yeah.
Cloud Giant Castle's going to Yarder. We think it's going to attack. We need to save the world. We need help.
And we need your help.
Yeah, he thinks that you guys are taking the right action, and he was especially worried when he found out, that Sansuri knows who helped you guys. He's pretty sure that means that he's identified the Harpers. as assisting you, and possibly, I mean, if you remember, they're kind of the ones that asked you to go to the castle in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, he was
Well, and we beat up on a couple of cloud giants when they were disguised as the cat type creatures. So yeah,
Right.
which is why exactly that's why they sent you there, because I mean, technically speaking, Sansuri kind of made the first, drew the first punch,
Correct.
but nevertheless, she, that's why she is kind of fixated on them, and that's he thinks that the reason Armaal is heading towards Yarder is because there's a node there. They could have targeted Everland, but they know that Everland has a much stronger magical defensive force. Yeah, they've got a shit ton of mages here, and yeah, they can mount a much stronger defense. Whereas Yarder, it's a bigger city, but it's more conventional in terms of like a city guard structure. The only presence the Harpers have there is literally the node. So, yeah, he's willing to help out in any way he can to get you guys what you need to make sure that whatever's happening doesn't happen. And if you can take out Sansuri,
we need about 50 reduced scrolls. And
so here's the problem: reduce and enlarge is one target for 1 minute.
Wow.
It's only 1/8 the size, so yeah, it's fine, but it's not great. Right. Honestly, I think it's polymorph. You got three people who can cast polymorph, right?
Yeah, I can cast polymorph.
Kyle can cast polymorph. So each of us can cast it, one on each giant. It lasts an hour. That will get us into Yarder, saying, "Oh shit, we need to go to the cemetery," and then we can rest in the cemetery, maybe.
Well, again, the bottleneck here in terms of if you cast an loose, if you had an loose, why do I keep calling it loose redarge? Enlarge reduce, but if you cast reduce on a giant, then did the teleportation thing, that would last long enough. You said it lasts a minute. That'd be enough for them to move quickly out of an area where they'd be enclosed, and the grounds of the villa.
But are they outside of town? Is this teleportation circle outside of town?
No, the node itself in Yarder again is in the villa of what's his name, Kolbaz.
So, if a 2 storm giants and a cloud giant all of a sudden appeared inside this villa, will it scare the living shit out of the people around the villa?
Well, no, not if. Again, he's actually in a ruined villa. If you recall, his villa is actually kind of in the rundown section of Yarder, and
okay.
So yeah, there really aren't any neighbors to worry about, and the villa that is enclosed and big enough that the giants could kind of hang out. They wouldn't be able to stand up really and like, hey, I'm a giant, but they could hunker down against the wall and stay out of sight more or less.
Yeah, that sounds great then. Save some spells.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys shouldn't. They have enough spell scrolls that you guys could be able to use and not consume any resources to get the giants in. And if you have that other spell, the Windwalk, that certainly would cover them in terms of transporting at least to the castle.
Yeah.
Getting back is going to be another question, but
well, that's where. Well, now we'll have 4, but theoretically, that's where if we save 3 polymorph spells, they could all go in one conch with a reduced spell, and we're done. Right?
Yes. Right.
Yeah. Again, they only need to be that small when they use the conch. So.
Right, exactly. So we just need to save. Everybody has to save 1 polymorph spell.
Or you could have another reduce spell to cast too.
Oh yeah, yep. So we need at least 9 reduce spells? No, 7 reduce spells
per target. Yeah. Well, they've got enough scrolls on hand that they would be able to do that.
Okay.
I know it's a dumb question, but can anybody use a scroll?
Yeah, I believe anyone can in 5th edition.
I could read a scroll, even though I'm not a magic. I'm not right.
Well, okay, so basically, if it's on spells, I was going to read from the Roll20. If the spell's on your class list, you can use an action to read the spell and cast its spell without having to provide any of the components. Otherwise, it's unintelligible. If the spell
Okay.
is on your class spell list, but of a higher level than you can normally cast, you have to make an ability check to use your spell casting ability to use it. So a spell scroll
Yeah, well, it's
that specifically,
Yeah, I don't know if that would even be on my list.
right? There are scrolls.
so
There
you would,
are other types
well-
of scrolls that you might be able to use, but a spell scroll specifically, it needs to be.
Sure. Okay.
Well, if they
Yeah.
have scrolls that we can use, since it's a concentration spell, it would have to be cast by 3 different people. Cool.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
oh yeah, I'm looking it up right now, and it's yeah, there are scrolls that are not spell scrolls, and anyone can use those, but they're specifically spell scrolls, which is confusing.
it is right.
Yeah. What's a non-spell scroll?
I don't know.
Let's see. They're in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Scroll. There's a scroll other category
Yeah.
apparently.
Hell, I'd have to look it up specifically.
And apparently there's a spell misfire table in the DMG.
Uh-huh.
So that's weird.
Well, I mean, if you're reading it and you screw a word up, I mean, I could understand that happening.
Let's see. There's a scroll of protection.
Latu Barada Nuko.
Better not have Lixdexia.
Yeah. Scroll of the Comet. Scroll of Tarask summoning. Scroll of
Ooh, there you go.
protection.
That we
There's
need-
lots
we
of
need that.
specific scrolls, but they're that aren't necessarily spell scrolls.
Okay.
So how about this? I think if we can get the help from the Harpers in this town to get to Yarder, they have 3 mages cast reduce on the giants. We go through. We're done. We get a reduced scroll for the extra giant that we're going to have, and we save 3 polymorphs.
That would work too. Yeah,
That
then you wouldn't.
That would solve the problem without breaking any rules or having the DM to make up. something.
Right.
Yeah, that would certainly work too.
Actually, do they have some polymorphs?
They might actually. Let me see.
How about a wand of polymorph laying around? That would be
No, but
awesome.
they've got
give
4
up.
polymorph scrolls.
We'll take them, and I'll give up all of my crap. I just
No,
don't care.
they are right now fully funding you guys in terms of the supplies
Okay.
here because they think it's in
Yeah.
their best interest for you to take this castle out. In fact,
I suppose it could be
Samuel,
very
you
bad.
are under explicit instructions to do whatever you can to make sure that Sansuri is taken out and that the castle is not a danger.
Nice.
That is your specific Harper mission.
Got it.
And
Got
with
it.
your
That comes from-
acquisition, you
Okay, so-
have full access to anything that they have available for you in terms of resources.
So So Samro, Strendil, and Groot each have a polymorph scroll. There's an extra one. Who wants to carry the extra one? One of us 3.
I can carry one. That's fine.
There you go.
All right.
Way to volunteer, man.
Well done.
It's just casting a freaking spell off a scroll.
Okay, so what other preparations are you guys planning to make? I guess what is your plan?
So we need to rest. So I would, since it's less than 8 hours, I would say let's go meet Felgalos in the cemetery and then we rest
Yeah.
after that.
Right. I agree.
Or tell Felgalos that we're going to meet him outside of town. I don't know. Do another sending.
I think the cemetery is kind of out of town.
It is,
If I
yeah,
remember.
it is on the outside of town.
Yeah.
Well, then that's a perfect spot.
It's where we killed that one guy.
Mhm. But before you go, now would be the time to load up on additional supplies that you might need depending on what your plan is going to call for in terms of resources. But to know that, you kind of need a plan first.
Yeah. Let's see.
Again, Thulin will be able to accompany you, and he knows, the layout of the castle, so he can direct you to specific places where you might want to go. And I mean, for example, he knows that, well, at one point Mirren was being held in the chains in the same place that Felgalos was, but he knows that the Nightstone, for example, do you guys remember in the throne room there was that circular hole in the floor?
Yes.
Yeah,
it reminded me kind of oh, thank you. Look what my wife brought me.
Nice.
Strawberry shortcake.
Well, if she's not going to bring enough for
Yeah.
everybody.
Smear it on your webcam.
I need five more, honey.
Electronic delivery of strawberry shortcake.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the circular hole positioned in the throne room, that is where she has positioned the Nightstone. In fact, it's resting literally on top of that hole, blocking it.
So we could come up and steal it.
It's a lot bigger than that hole. It's basically like a huge obsidian obelisk. You guys remember? I don't know if you actually saw it. You saw the indentation in the ground where it had been previously.
Correct. Right. Yeah.
But your very first adventure was in Nightstone, the namesake.
Yeah. It's like a smaller version of the Washington Monument or something, right?
More or less, yeah, except it's black and
right. But shape wise.
Yeah, it's a little bit more rough hewn, but yes.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, so it all depends on what you guys want to do once you get there, what your plan is. Because it seems like you've got multiple objectives that you're going to have.
So, I thought the only objective is to destroy the stone thing, the navigation stone.
Well,
that's our goal.
Yeah, if you destroy the navigation stone, that stops the castle. Won't necessarily stop.
So that's number one, I think, should be number one.
Right.
Freeing the daughter.
Probably
number two. And then
getting all of them back to Maelstrom.
Right, all the giants, correct. Yeah. And survive.
And survive. So the plan is we teleportation circle to Yarder, miniaturizing the giants. We then do what we need to do to get outside of town to meet the dragon. We rest, and then we need to find out if King Hekaton found the direction or location of the castle.
Yeah.
I mean, we can fly around, but it'd be great to.
In terms of locating you mean Thulin?
Castle.
Yeah, Hekaton is back in Ironslag. But
I know. He said he was going to send out.
No, he was going to look for the amphitheater.
Oh, the amphitheater
for the dragon.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Right. Thulin knows exactly where more or less where the castle is, because again, he's got a he's got a homing
GPS thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah. He's got an amulet that is in his bed, basically his room in the castle, and he knows exactly how far away it is.
So then we don't have to worry about that.
No. Finding the castle won't be a challenge.
Okay. So we get there. I'm hoping that we look like a cloud, but we're gonna be hauling ass. So maybe approaching at night would be good, but I don't know. Depending on where they are and how this works out, if we're approaching during the day, we're gonna look like a cloud approaching the castle. If it's in the dark, then I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
Other than that, is there anything else that we need to do besides not dying?
That seems like enough of a plan that it's not too complex that it's going to fall apart if something goes wrong or if you need to improvise.
I mean, yeah. once we get there, then we have to see what we deal with.
Right. So
Now,
do we
the
know
other
where
thing-
the other giant is that we need to find? We know that she's in shackles, right?
Right. Exactly where she's going to be, you don't know. If
Oh.
she's being held
No.
in the same place as Felgalos, you know where that was, because that's where
Yep.
you guys flew in as birds, and you went past the griffin cages,
Right.
and it was a set of double doors. But you don't know for that's where she was being held. He doesn't know if she's still being held there.
Well, to me, that's the first place we look, right?
Yeah, and they have vacancy.
And Thulin, can he enlighten us on like the defenses of the castle?
Yes. He knows. As soon as the DM can pull up the page that has the information.
Why not get the inside info here?
Let's see. So what we've got, you never really killed anybody there so far. So, you
One
recall,
of the few we left untouched.
you recall last time you were there were a whole shitload of those Aarakocra simulacra. Basically, they're kind of essentially
Oh yeah.
they're like Aarakocra, but they're kind of created rather than natural. Anyway, there's a whole ton of them, a whole bunch of them, like a dozen or more. There are 5, 6, 9, 10. 10 cloud giants, 5 griffins, some air elementals, some ogres.
So that 10 wasn't including Thulin, was it?
No, that was excluding
Okay.
Thulin and Sinsuri and her
Right.
2 children.
Oh, okay, got it. So those are like guards or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we have 3 giants and Velgalos, I feel pretty good. It
Yeah.
could go sideways.
It can always go sideways. Oh, and then there's Crisaro as well, the Castellan, who you had encountered before. He's the one that was kind of leading
Right.
you around. So 10,
Yeah.
10, as far as cloud giants go, yeah, 10, besides Sensori and Crisaro, there's 10 cloud giants. Otherwise, mostly you're going to be dealing with elementals, Aarakocra, and
I don't remember those Aarakocra. What were those like?
Birds like human looking things.
Oh.
They were in the D&D movie.
Oh, okay.
That's who they grabbed to get out of the prison.
yeah,
Right.
Thulin
Yeah.
actually can explain a little bit more behind that. I guess apparently years ago, a wounded Aarakocra named Jakra landed on Sensuri's Cloud Castle. Sensuri was struck by the beauty and color of the noble creature, but rather than befriend Jakra, she locked him in a cage and imprisoned him for months while she used simulacrum spells to create effigies out of him out of ice and snow. Sensuri's version allows her to have multiple simulacra of the same creature. After creating a host of Jaka simulacra, say that 10 times fast, she killed the original, then in typical noble fashion had his body stuffed and mounted above the fireplace in her lounge.
Damn, she's one sick.
Yeah,
bitch.
she's a real nice. Basically,
She's a
they're
piece of
Aarakocra, which are like bird people. But they are totally do her bidding.
So I asked Thulin, this is got to be difficult infiltrating like your home, basically. What are you prepared to do in this situation?
At this point, I'm prepared to do whatever is necessary to ensure that my sister's children have a life ahead of them. And I don't think that can happen as long as as my sister is still alive. Because she's obviously going to do whatever she can to get her children back.
Right.
It just speaks to how twisted she has become, that she is focusing on this act of revenge before seeking out her children, who now
Right.
she knows have
Are
been
gone.
abducted.
Wow.
If she sees me, though, I do predict that things will things will go badly for me. But if that's what is necessary, I am not much of a fighter though, so I probably will be hanging back a bit. I'm a gardener.
What are your abilities?
I'm a gardener. I tend to the gardens of the castle. I
Okay.
can wield a weapon if I'm given one.
If you
Yes.
have to. Right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean he's basically got,
Well,
standard cloud giant stats. So, give him a boulder, he'll
Right.
be able to throw it, or give him a morning star and he'll be able to swing it, but
well, I respect you for, standing up for your people.
well, officially speaking, the castle, if my sister can be taken out, the castle will actually fall to her children. And I would be essentially normally be considered the guardian of them until they came of age. How
I think that would be good for all of your kind.
there are giants that we will come up against that will, as long as they perceive that Sansuri is in charge, they will fight for her. I think
Sure.
if she can be taken out, they will stop. Because she, as I
Okay.
said before,
She wields
She
the power,
wields power-
and by
Exactly.
fear.
yes.
Yeah. No.
So I will not be actively trying to bring down my brethren. If they can be knocked unconscious, I will be endeavoring for that. The more cloud giants that can be spared, the better.
I think we need to focus on her then.
Yeah.
Crisaro, I think, is
'Cause,
beyond redemption. He will look for an avenue for treachery at the nearest opportunity.
Well, if you can point us out, that guy needs to die. That guy, it's okay. It's
Yep.
red shirt. That guy is,
Well,
he's a
Again,
command guy.
you guys remember you encountered Crisaro. You talked with him at length. He's giving
Oh.
you on a tour, so you'll recognize him. I mean, unless he's disguising himself immediately. Any other cloud giant, again, he says that they're likely just going to be following orders. So if you can
Right.
do subdual damage for the death blow type thing, well, which in 5th edition is no harder than doing a regular blow, so it's not like you're at a disadvantage for that. That's what he's hoping for. But otherwise, like the Arakakra simulacra, I mean, they're essentially like constructs. So you kill them, that's not a big deal. The Griffins, he'd be sad if they died, but he doesn't think they're going to be able to be reasoned with, so you might have to take them out if they
Right.
attack. Same with the invisible stalkers guarding her chamber. If you go there. Yeah, basically, the ogres he doesn't think are going to be a problem. They're basically cooks. So,
Okay.
and he thinks that they're not going to be engaging in combat. So, otherwise, it's up to you guys. If really, it's more of a. Do you guys think you need anything else from the Harpers before you set off? In terms of equipment.
Mm.
I can't think of them. We got probably more scrolls. They're going to help reduce us. I don't know. I'm good.
Okay. In that case.
Yeah. No. I think we're okay.
Okay, well then in that case, you guys are free to use the network to teleport back or teleport to the site in Yarder. So I will move you guys to there, and actually I will bring up. I gotta find that map. Where is it here? Forget to unarchive it. There we go. Been a while. But again, yeah, the villa where the teleportation circle is right there. So that is where you guys show up, along with your reduced giant friends, who quickly you see Kolbaz there, and as usual, like he's not like immediately there, but as soon as the circle is used, he comes down and he almost gets knocked over by these giants who come running up the stairs, hurriedly trying to get into the open air before their reduce spell runs out. And he's just like, hey. Then he sees you guys. Oh, it's you. Yeah, I should have suspected as much. What's up with you? What's going on? Who are those giants? Or they're not giants. They look like they would be giants, but they're small. Anyway, yeah, he's curious as to what you guys are up to and what's going on. As usual, the folks in Everland didn't even tell him that you guys were going to show up.
Just tell them everything. Is there anything we would need to hold back from them? Because they need to know if this castle's coming to Yarder. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, I don't think we need to hold anything back.
Okay. Yeah. So he seems like, yeah, he knows you guys well enough that he knows you're going to come and go pretty much at will. So, he was just kind of giving you trouble or, joshing you a bit. But when you start talking about possible cloud giants, in fact, I think the last time you guys were here, you discussed this, how Yarder was one of the few places you'd been that hadn't suffered any giant attacks. Most of the other cities you've visited have suffered an attack of one type or another, just because of all the chaos and everything that's been going on. So when you guys start talking about, Cloud Giant Castle coming and, possibly attacking, that gets his attention, and he's, gets pretty serious pretty quick and is willing to do whatever he can to help defend the city. He does say that, after you guys left last time, your faces were plastered all over town on wanted posters. And that if you are to kind of show your face, you probably will be apprehended as, enemies of the city.
For what? What'd we do? Come on.
Well, there were a bunch of guards that got killed. And that
It wasn't our fault.
Guards got killed by who?
Actually, he was questioned, the guard, because they knew that he had been associated, that you had associated with him. But he was able to kind of basically talk his way. I don't know who any of these guys are. So, he didn't really face any issues, but they're not happy. So whatever you're going to do, he suggests keeping it on the down low.
Right. We were kind of planning that.
The Yarder Cemetery, you guys remember. I mean, you're if you want to do the rest thing, you still got probably about 3 or 4 hours before Felgalos said he would show up. So if you want to stay in the villa in the meantime, you're certainly welcome. The giants, after the reduce spell wears off, they pretty much have to stay in the villa unless they want to start wandering around the city streets, which would definitely cause a commotion. But in the villa, like I said, they can hunker down and kind of stay out of sight because it's more of the rundown, ruined area of town. As far as traveling to the cemetery, you guys could go through the gate if you wanted, but again, you're more likely to be spotted there by the guards. There's definitely going to be guards at the gate, guarding entrance and out.
Right.
But
so we could polymorph the giants, let them fly over in bird form into the cemetery. Then I can come back as a bird and shuttle people out of the city.
Just go right over the wall?
I mean, yeah.
Or wait, wait, somebody has a teleportation door or something that, since we're right near the wall, how many 100 feet is that? Can we just dimension door to the other side?
The interior to the villa would be on the northern part. You're in the southern part right now, but there's actually a northern part.
It's only 50 feet to the
wall.
To the wall, so would that work?
Yeah.
Kyle?
Your other option would be, I mean, the giants don't necessarily have to be there when you meet in Felgalos.
Well,
Right. Yeah, they don't.
No, where are they going though?
oh, that's yeah, that's true. Sorry. Well,
It's
we
hard
need to take
hide
a
a giant.
Don. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Did we ever get a long rest in?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, not
Not
yet.
yet.
No,
Okay.
not yet.
That's
Yeah, I
last.
think you were
Okay.
planning to meet Felgalos
Yep.
first. So
We can rest when we're dead.
Well,
long,
that's
long
another
rest.
one
Will
that
be
may be
soon.
sooner rather than later.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you guys want to link up with, I mean, you don't have to stay in the cemetery, presumably. I mean,
So we could rest here near the teleportation circle.
yeah, that's kind of what. Yeah, that's
in
what he
this-
was implying. Is that you're free to
Sure.
stay overnight
Okay.
in the villa and
Yeah,
keep it as
sounds
kind of
great.
a base. All right. So, yeah. In the meantime, it's
Where is this?
now probably a few hours away from when you were going to meet Felgalos.
Yeah,
Who's
might as well stay up for that.
who's planning to do that to meet him there, and how do you plan to get there?
I mean, really, only one of us needs to go over there just to
Well,
meet
since
up
I'm
with
the
him.
one that did the sending, I should probably go and meet him.
Well, no,
No.
but who?
I mean, you can't change
it's true.
yourself.
Sorry, Kyle. The wizard guy has dimension door.
Yeah.
The only thing, well, I guess, so he can turn into my size or smaller, correct?
You can
Felgalos,
polymorph.
you remember his favored, yeah, exactly, his favored form when
Yeah.
Hobbit.
a
or
halfling,
something.
right?
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can
yeah.
just dimension door meet him and then dimension door
Door
us
him back. Yeah.
both back,
Yep.
and we can hang out and talk with him here.
That makes
Sure.
sense. That makes the most sense, I think.
And he can meet the crew.
You can
Sure.
meet the crew.
Meet the crew.
This is my posse.
So, what are we doing about the giants, though? That's still the.
Well, at the
Yeah.
present, they're just
Just
going to
here's
hang
some
out in
work
the
for them.
villa. But yeah, what you want to do with
Right.
are you talking about now or?
No,
I-
like after the spell wears off. What are
Yeah,
we
after
doing?
they're gigantic.
Oh no, they
again.
they are
They
already.
are.
They're
They are.
basically hunkered down. They're just like crouched
The-
down, like leaning up
Oh.
They
against
just had
the wall.
to get out of the teleportation chamber.
Yeah,
Would have busted it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So they're in the villa in the
right. It's like an open air compound villa. That's
common room. Yeah.
But they're not like towering over the wall.
well, if they would, if they
People are like,
stood
sticking
up,
out.
they'd stand
Oh,
out. Yeah,
They're sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
sitting
exactly.
around.
They're-
They're
the walls-
reclining.
yeah. The villa is ruined, but the walls are still standing, so they can hunker down against the wall and be out of sight. And even if they were to stand, this area of town is, if you recall, it's kind of actually even rumored to be haunted. It's abandoned.
Yes,
There's a
end
lot
of
of ruined
town.
buildings.
Oh.
So they could,
Where-
briefly
where are
stand
we
up
in
and,
town?
do a stretch thing and then sit back down again without attracting attention. If they were to stand up and start yelling and like drawing attention to themselves, yeah, then people would say, "There's a fucking giant over there." But they're probably not going to do
Can
that.
somebody ping in the town where we are?
South,
the little
southeast
P.
side, Dave.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I see it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I put it
Remember,
right on
I'm
top
half.
of the letter. So
Yes.
Remember, I'm half blind.
okay, so Samuel, you're going to dimension door over to the cemetery or reach there in some other means.
I'm gonna dimension
Okay.
door over.
So you pop over to the cemetery and hang out for a while.
So
Are you trying to? You don't spot anybody else in the cemetery. You remember the guards occasionally will kind of wander down from the gate, but they're always carrying torches and they're well lit, so that you can very easily avoid them without any skill checks if that's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna avoid them, but when they're not around, I'm just gonna kind of lean against a tree, wearing all black, kind of smoking a cigarette, just trying to look
Okay.
cool.
Trying to look casual,
Yeah,
but cool at the same time.
Just hanging out in a cemetery, smoking
what
a
I do.
cigarette in all black.
all right,
With a scythe,
I look extremely emo.
goth look.
scythe, or however the fuck
Or
you
yeah,
pronounce that
I'm
one.
very goth.
Samuel the Goth.
If
So after about an hour or so of hanging out, yeah, you're waiting around, and you make a perception check. Okay. Yeah, you
there
hear
you
the
go.
sound of furtive footsteps, not too distant away, like maybe 100 feet or so away.
how a litter.
Furtive. Tippy tippy paws.
All right,
Tippy tippy paws.
I'll be somewhat cautious, but kind of just see if I can figure out who it is. Make sure it's who I'm expecting and not some
Tippy
other
tippy
person.
paws. Tippy tippy
Okay.
paws.
Should have worked out a cool code word.
Yes.
You catch sight of a humanoid figure approaching in the darkness, not moving directly towards you. So if the figure has seen you, they haven't given any indication of that, but moving roughly in your direction. It abruptly trips and knocks over a gravestone, and you hear, "God, shit."
Son of a bitch.
He was the one that flew into that
Yeah.
church.
You
or
recall
whatever,
his
correct?
nickname
Yeah,
being the
yeah.
Flying Misfortune.
Right.
Yeah. He's also the walking
Yeah.
misfortune.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, yeah, he kind of gets up, and now he's moving along, limping a little bit, and still hasn't seen you, though.
Over here. Over here.
Gloves. Hey,
Who's that?
Gloves. Over
Hey,
here.
who's there?
Right here. It's Sam.
He wanders over to you and manages to avoid knocking over any more gravestones.
Sorry.
Hey, how's it going?
Sorry to just.
Is it just you
disturb
now?
your
Hey.
slumber.
Are you the only one that survived?
Well,
Nice.
one time we may have made a mistake in this town and we're kind of wanted, so we're kind of just laying low inside of town.
That's awesome.
And, yeah, if we go out, we're probably gonna be arrested. It's an ordeal.
Oh man, welcome to the club.
It's an ordeal.
So
We'll be the saviors of this place by the end of
So
I can
a
just
week.
I can dimension door us back in by everyone else.
oh
if you
yeah,
wanna.
sure, yeah, I haven't done that
come
for a
with me.
while.
Yeah, and then I'll say, hold on, and we'll dimension
Okay,
door back to
Yeah,
the.
you appear back in the villa. Everyone's kind of startled by your sudden reappearance, and Felgolos is just like, "Whoa, okay, where are we now?" Hey guys!
So this is.
You guys see it's
double secret
a halfling,
location.
and you recognize Felgolos in his halfling form. And then he looks over and he like does a double take when he sees the giants just casually leaning up against the wall. He's like, "Whoa!"
Holy shit!
Sup.
Are they okay? They're not gonna kill me, are they?
No.
They
No,
cool.
they're
they
cool.
cool.
They're with
Are
us.
those storm giants? I don't think I've ever
Gotta-
seen a
gotta
storm
have
giant
some, like-
before.
Yeah, we've been hanging out with them for a while. Hecaton's a pretty
Oh
cool
wait, isn't he
dude.
the king of the storm giants?
Yeah, he's.
Yes,
I
Yeah.
thought
Yep.
I thought he
he's our
got
bud
like
now.
abducted or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
found him and we
Wow,
rescued him.
yeah.
We're
Okay, I've been
tight
out of the
now.
loop a bit. Man, you guys have been around.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah.
Well, when we can teleport like that, it's easy to get around.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So anyway, you wanted me to you were gonna kill Sansuri or something? Where is she? She here?
Soon.
She's on her way.
Her castle's coming.
So we give them the whole rundown about, what she's got. The one daughter of Hecaton is gonna try and blow shit up with the
Whoa.
Night Stone, and yeah.
Wow.
So we have a plan to get to the castle, take out the navigation orb so it stops, and either disable or render her harmless, and then we're gonna rescue Hecaton's one daughter who's being held captive in all of this,
Wow.
and not die. That's the three things. Those are our
Those are our
three.
three
No, our
goals.
four. No, our
Three,
five
sir.
objectives are three. Yeah.
So
yeah,
yeah.
pretty easy plan.
Where do I fit in?
Well, there's going to be a whole lot of cloud giants and Aarakocra and other stuff probably shooting against us. So we need some big muscle to help clear the way. And if you can help us take down Sansuri, even better. Get a little revenge on that hag who tortured you for however long it was.
Bite her head off or something.
So
This bitch is toast.
so how are you? She's in this flying castle. How are you going to get there?
We're going to get there using
Oh.
Windwalk
Oh,
spell.
Hagrid.
We'll all turn into clouds, the wood cloud, and go.
Okay.
Or you could just fly.
And the
Yeah,
cloud
you
giant
could
over
just
there,
fly.
he knows exactly where we need to go, so we'll just all zoom, zip.
We got an inside scoop.
Yep.
Yes, we
And
do.
so our goal is to take out the navigation orb, then find King Hecaton's daughter. We think she is in the same location where you were held, and then get the fuck out. We want to keep the red shirt cloud giants alive if possible.
Red shirt.
But we definitely want to kill.
Well,
the
there's two
queen
cloud
and-
giants we want to kill.
Yeah, 2 cloud giants we want to kill for sure. You probably know who we're talking about. Sansuri and
They're your faves.
yeah.
Anakin or something like that.
Charizard or something like that.
Charizard. He's a Pikachu.
What's his name?
Sorry, what are those things called?
Pokemon.
Pikachu?
Pokemon.
Pikachu?
Pokemon. Pikachu's a
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the plan. So, and your help would be greatly appreciated.
Oh yeah. I mean, if this allows me to get back at that wench any way possible, I'm all for it.
We figured you would be.
So, yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
One of our better ones.
When's this going to happen?
Well, they're what, 2 days out at this point?
Well, at this
Or
point,
3
it's more
days
like a
out?
day.
Yeah.
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 So we're gonna take
And
a
I
long
think
rest, get some spells back, and then we're gonna go.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go. Yeah, because I think we wanna do this before they
Approach at
hit
night.
hard.
Garter.
Before they hit Yarder,
Yarder.
you know.
And approach
Yeah.
at night.
Right.
Yeah.
So what time is it? Roughly?
At this point,
right now?
it's probably getting close to. It would have been night when you were in the cemetery, so it's already nightfall.
So can the cloud giant guy tell th something? Thulin, can he
Thulin,
tell how far
Tell us.
it's away now?
He thinks that he can sense that his amulet is probably about 18, 16 hours away.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah,
good.
we're cutting it kind of close. We're gonna be approaching during the day then, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless you want to go out tonight.
Oh
But
well.
it sounds like you wanted a long
I have
rest.
to take a long
No,
rest.
we need that. We need that
We need to
long rest.
So then,
Unless we can get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and it still be dark out.
Or twilighty.
well, you need 8 hours for a full long rest. So,
And I don't
Yep.
know what time it is now.
well, it's already dark, so probably not.
I guess we're in the daylight. There you
All
go.
right. Daytime assault.
Ah!
Yeah, it's all right.
To me, we'll just
It's
approach it
just a-
from below, right?
It's just a
Just a
cloud.
cloud
I
approaching
mean,
Yes.
below, and
Yeah.
theoretically, we could just go up the center. Can we go up the center? You know,
Up the
and
hole.
then get.
no, he said that Nightstone is blocking that hole.
Oh,
So we could get all the way to the top.
well, I guess if we approach from the bottom and then zoom on up
Yeah.
the side, and then,
They zoom around. Yep.
All ready to
Yeah.
bottom.
yep,
Kind of like we did with the boat.
yeah.
You know,
Nice.
it worked last time.
It's got to work again.
Nice.
So,
Uh,
in the meantime, you guys are going to take a long rest, then I presume.
Yep.
Okay, go
Yes.
ahead and
Yes.
do that.
good point.
Make any updates necessary. You will be
Spells.
undisturbed while you are in the villa. Zardoz will keep watch. And okay. I tell you what, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have you guys awakening from your long rest and moving on from there.
Awesome.
So we'll be back in a moment. So we're back. Party's taking a long rest, all nice and rested for their upcoming encounter. Over the course of the evening, rather ominous looking cloud bank rolled in, and now the sky is completely overcast, making it a bit even more difficult to tell what direction a flying castle might be coming from. But Tholen assures you that he has a pretty good idea. It is definitely closer now, and if you guys are going to do anything before it arrives over Yarder, you're probably going to need to do it within the next few hours.
We're ready to go.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
So
Do it.
the giants wake up. They will all do the huddle up around you guys. Felglos is with you. He says, "Do you want me to be halfling form or?"
You can be whatever form you want. That's the form you're going to come out as when you. So you can be a dragon if you want.
Well, where are we? Do we have to like stay together or?
We do not, but we're gonna be all gaseous wisps of clouds. So I guess if you're smaller, you won't look as big. So that might not be bad.
Well, you can tell that if you guys actually move up into the clouds, like I said, it's a pretty solid. Basically, it's like a big bunch of stratus clouds right now. So once you get into the clouds, you are effectively going to be invisible.
Okay.
So you will blend right in.
So you can be a dragon then. That's fine if you want.
Yeah, he thinks it, but it's still kind of up in the air. What direction are you guys coming from? You said something about approaching from below,
Yes.
I thought it might have been clear, but if it's going to be basically invisible, we'll just zoom right in and go right to the whatever that thing is.
The location of the navigation orb.
That place.
Okay, so that was the big question. It's because Tholen, if you remember, there are essentially three levels to this thing. There's the level 1, which is the ground, quote unquote cloud level. That's where Felgos is being held prisoner, if you remember, and there really wasn't any entrance or exit except through the windows. So you guys were able to come in through the windows and through the openings where the griffins would fly in and out.
Yep.
That's where, again, and then that was the same level that the throne room was on. The second level was more of like a residential level, and that had like the that bridge that went across to kind of like a greeting spot where you landed the airship last time.
Yeah.
You guys didn't see much on that level, really, in terms of the interior of the castle. On the exterior, you noticed that's where most of the ballista were and where the watch points were. But otherwise, there wasn't much there that you knew about. And then on top, the top level was basically the roof of the circular sections of the castle, and that is where the orb is going to be, where the tower, where Sensory's quarters would have been, and that's
where we want to go.
Okay,
That's
so
where
you're
we're
going to
going.
fly out and attempt to make for the top portion where the orb is to start then.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
If that's the case, then probably what Felgos is going to do is he'll probably try to make a distraction then. He'll separate from you guys. He's not sure who's going to be actually casting this in terms of like dispelling it.
Groot.
Okay. So he'll stay, obviously he won't be able to, he'll have to stay in cloud form until you dispel it. Once that's done, though, he'll try to attract the attention of all the Griffin and the Arakakra watch people and any giants that are.
Oh, it sounds great.
So that can hopefully give you guys time to make your move, so to speak.
Sounds good.
Okay. In that case, he's ready to go.
Let's do it.
All right, so you cast Windwalk. You all turn into clouds, basically. And Zardoz is like, wow, it's really foggy around here early in the day. Good luck storming the castle,
No,
literally.
man. Yeah, bye-bye, boys.
So you guys are able to fly up, and I guess you guys would follow Thulin's cloud as he will lead you in the direction of where he senses the castle's approaching. And as you approach, the clouds get thicker and darker and a little bit stormier. You can sense, and Thulin kind of confirms that it's likely that Sansuri is controlling weather and making it kind of stormy around her castle deliberately, which won't necessarily affect you. I don't think you guys can really be damaged in this form. If you recall now, how you're going to do this, the trick is that reverting is going to take a minute, during which you guys are going to be incapacitated and can't move. So where were you planning to do that?
Can we still see while we're in cloud form and see what's going on and maneuver like
The
a sentient creature?
incapacitated
Or
condition, I think, allows that.
no. Before we start coming back. So while we're in cloud form, we can still see and sense around us.
I'm just rereading the description here. You have a flying speed. You have
You can
resistance to
move 300
damage.
feet.
The only actions you can take in this form are the dash action or revert. Revert takes a minute. Blah, blah, blah. If a creature's in cloud form and flying when the effect ends, creature drifts down. Blah, blah. It doesn't say anything about your senses changing, so I'm assuming that your vision remains and hearing remains the same. I mean, it's magic.
What I would do is look for a place where I can hide for a minute.
Okay.
Right.
Recorporealize.
Because there are multiple levels to, I mean, there's like essentially 3 roofs. Like there's the big center section of the castle, and atop that is where the circular tower or the circular room holding the navigation orb is going to be. And then there's 2 lower roofs, if you will, with I guess what you'd want to call like spy glasses on them, but they're not typically mounted. He thinks that you guys probably would be best off landing. Oh, but there's going to be Aarakocra watching over that area. That's the trick. He's thinking. Actually,
How does Featherfall work?
how does it work?
So I was thinking that is Featherfall just as long as you're touching somebody?
I'm not sure what you mean.
What if we just changed it while we're in cloud form and then just Featherfall down to the down?
Down onto
Yeah.
the roof. Yeah.
Well, he says
I don't know.
the problem with that is that the Aarakocra are stationed around the
They'll
roof,
see
and
us.
they will likely see you. If even if you're in cloud form, they might
Okay.
notice you. But definitely, if you revert, and then if you're incapacitated, you can't do anything.
So I guess what I don't understand is, I'm reverting. The reverting takes 1 minute. Am I still in cloud form for that minute, or am I human? Like,
Right.
so I'm immune to non-magical weapons as long as I'm in cloud form. And so if I'm switching, am I not in cloud form when I'm reverting? So to me, it seems that it takes a while. I can't do anything. I can't move. I'm in cloud form, and then I am then human or elf or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't specifically say, but I'm going to say that until you've fully reverted, you're incapacitated, but still in that half damage form. So you still have resistance to non-magical damage, but you can't move.
I guess if there's trees or something that we can hide in, then
there are some bushes, but as far as trees that would fully obscure you, probably not. He thinks actually probably your best bet. There are some windows in that level in the building at that level, and he says specifically there is a dining room that is less likely to be occupied, and he thinks that that's probably the safest place for you guys to make an entry.
okay.
go in there,
trust
and
him.
then there are some doors leading outside that you could use, but then you'd have to figure out how to get to the next level up.
Oh, so it's on the level below.
Right. It would be the level immediately below. There is a staircase that goes up that would lead you to the main or the upper level.
Well, if nobody's there, we storm out and with storm giants,
Yep.
and cloud giants, and say huzzah, and I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's probably the best
Yeah.
option.
Oh, actually, the gallery. He thinks the gallery is going to be probably the best place. There's a couple windows that you could fly in there, and that's on the side of the castle where the Aarakocra aren't concentrated. Okay.
Oh, there we
Okay.
Even better.
So, all right. So you guys fly up, excuse me, make your way towards the castle or towards the area where Felon says the castle is. And sure enough, you can see as you get closer, it's almost kind of like the clouds. It's been this, really featureless gray. The clouds, if any of you have flown before and you go through a cloud, it's just kind of like featureless gray. That's really what you see when you're on the inside of it.
Right.
But there's an area that becomes darker, and as you loom closer, you can see that it is indeed the castle. And once you spot it, you kind of let Tholen take the lead, and I'm going to move you guys over to that map. So again, this is a big map. You guys, I'm going to put you up, have you appear right next to the level 5. Oops. Have you all appear. There you go. And
Armaal.
Level 5 is blacked out.
yes, you guys are flying in, and Tholen directs you into one of these entryways here.
Okay.
Through one of those gaps, which
There we
leads
are.
you inside, which I will now reveal.
Okay. We're stopping back getting pumpkins later so we can make a pie.
Yeah, the pumpkins are to the north. Let's see if I can.
Those are some ginormous pumpkins.
There you go.
A number of years ago on Pie Day, I actually made some pies in my smoker. I made a maple bacon pumpkin pie.
Ooh.
Oh my God, was that thing freaking awesome.
So this room,
Sounds like
it looks like this is the gallery. Tholen says that hardly anyone ever comes into this room. There's a wrought iron staircase. He says that going down that leads to the servants' quarters. Going up, it'll lead to the castle roof. You got colorful rugs decorating the floor, walls festooned with partitions forming niches that display all the objects or objets d'art that the Countess has collected over the years. Centerpiece of the collection is a stuffed young silver dragon suspended by chains from the ceiling. And yeah, I guess Felgalos, because he'll need to recover, he's going to be in halfling form. He'll step out later and assume dragon form, but I'm just going to keep his token there for now. He's in actual halfling form. He does not like that stuffed dragon one bit. He asks if he can knock it down before you leave. Okay.
Yes. But don't create a racket just
no.
yet.
Well, actually, you guys are all incapacitated once you do the transformation.
Oh,
so
that's right.
it takes a minute. After a minute, you guys revert to your normal forms, and you're no longer incapacitated. And that's the first thing Felgalos says. He says he'll let you guys exit, and then he'll leave last and knock this thing down because he's really offended by it. There's lots of other bits of art and things non-magical treasure in here, but I'm not going to describe them now because that's unless you really want to start looting the place.
Is there a spell book?
We wish.
There are some scrolls there. There's a harp. There's a big banner.
Magical
Well, if you want to get cast detect
There you go.
magic.
I can do it as a ritual, but it takes 10 minutes. Do we
We're
really
here.
wanna do that?
I'm sorry. We're here to
Oh.
kill the neg.
I know.
engagement,
Right.
right?
Because
up,
I don't
so
really
yeah.
care.
Yeah. Well, Holland says that that harp is well, it's sized for a human for one thing, and it's just sitting there on a shelf. This giant size shelf. It's this harp that's sitting there.
Right.
But he says, that is a magical harp. As far as he knows,
Yeah.
it's actually an instrument of the bards.
Yeah, I planned on taking it.
There you go.
There you go.
Grab it, stick it in a bag. We'll
Stuff
Oh wait,
it
we
in
have
your
a bag
bag,
of holding,
yep.
don't we? Yeah,
Yes,
just
we
We
put-
do.
Yeah,
Well, put it
Thulin
in
has
there.
shove
no.
that in this bag of holding.
Yeah,
for
Thulin
now.
has no emotional attachment to it whatsoever. He says, take it because you're going to get much more use out of it than Sansuri probably ever would. It was actually was acquired from a human bard who counseled Sansuri for a few months, and she had him hurled from the battlements for joking about her quick temper and kept the harp as a memento.
Ooh.
So,
Okay, then.
it is now yours.
Such soft skin she has.
There's also
Is it?
there's a great big banner that hangs from a varnished wooden rod bolted to the door. That is magical as well.
So the instrument type matters, by the way. It looks cool, but what instrument is it?
It is Anne's
harp.
Truth harp.
It is the harp. Holy crap! And Anne's Truth, you
Yep.
said? Okay. Cool.
So, and the banner is a banner of the Krieg rune. It's crafted from a thick red fabric, measures 5 feet high and 3 feet wide. The Krieg war rune is displayed on the fabric with round metal plates sewn into it. It can be attached to a 10-foot pole to serve as a standard. Furling or unfurling the banner requires an action. Banner has following properties: a mark of courage. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can get from it. If you want to take that as well, Thalon has no problem with it.
Stick in the holding.
Bag of holding.
Sure.
I'll pop the
Stuff
link
it
into
in.
the I'll pop D&D Beyond link in there. And I'll put the link to the harp in there too for you, Samuel, if you.
Yes.
Okay. So once you've gotten done looting the place, I mean, like I said, there's a whole bunch of other things that look like they may be worth a lot of money or something like that, but those are the only magical items.
Yeah. I was just thinking that if
I don't think
know,
she'd leave
this
that,
is her.
that Harper spell book just sitting out like that. It's probably in her bedroom.
well, yeah, probably, but it didn't hurt
Yeah.
to look. This is a trophy room basically for her.
Basically, it is.
Yeah, but as stated, let's go kick some ass.
All right. So
Yeah.
what again, what is happening here is you guys are going to be exiting out of the main level right here or here.
Great.
Or if
Oh.
you want to exit going up the stairs, you're going to
Yeah, I
show
thought
up.
we were going to try the stairs.
Yeah, then you would show up basically to the east there. Right.
Because this orb is inside.
Yes, he
correct?
says the
Yeah, it's in a locked
the
room.
central
Yeah.
chamber, the door is right there. The problem is
Yeah.
once you get up on the roof, the Aarakocra are probably going to notice you and move to attack.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you have some means of moving stealthily or preventing them from seeing you.
I can do pass without trace
Visibility.
on the group again if we want to try that.
Yeah, right. I have that too. If you want me to
Do we
cast
need
it.
the whole group to go?
Yeah, if who's cast the spell, because I can cast invisibility on them.
I
They
have
just go
greater
cast-
invisibility. I can.
I
Just,
have that too.
Yeah, we can just send Paul and go do your thing.
Well, so did we get a scroll to do the magical unlock? Okay,
Yeah.
Yep.
cool.
So we're
And then you're going to go
Paul's the one who's gonna do
and then
that.
he's going to
so
go
just
ape
make
to,
him
to
invisible.
break it.
No,
Orb.
we
Oh,
can just unlock it.
no.
Oh, you mean the
the orb itself? Yeah.
I don't know.
Or do we
Uh,
take it
Can you
out? Or?
can you just steal it?
It's about 7 feet circular or sphere, 7 feet. Yeah, diameter sphere.
Theoretically,
okay.
it could be picked up.
By a giant.
Oh, a giant ape. Throw
Right.
throw it off.
So here's the deal. You greater invisibility.
Yep.
You go up there, you break in, you come back. I dimension door us in.
Oh, sure.
We break it, and then we just leave.
Okay.
That works. too.
Dimension door out and leave.
Well, then we got to go get the storm giant daughter.
Yeah, we still got to get her.
Yeah,
right.
figure that part
And-
out later.
And we got to kill the other
Yeah,
two
We'll
giants.
get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
we'll get there.
I like
Yeah,
that.
We're just trying to do this
if we're
without
successful
Number
in
one.
breaking it and
Yep.
the cast stops,
Let's do number
That's
one.
I
gotta
love
get
that.
some
I think that's a
piece
great
of
idea.
attention.
I love
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows that we're there. That's great.
Okay, so
Yep.
what do you tell me what you're going to do as you're going to do it?
Step one, Tim's gonna turn Paul invisible.
Great.
Greater or regular?
I'd say greater because he's got to
Just
cast
cause,
that.
Yeah.
He
Okay,
has
but you only have
to-
a minute. That's my only.
Yeah, well, how far
sure.
away is it? He can get there in a minute, right? And back.
Yeah, these stairs lead up
Do we?
over here.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you guys can start walking up the stairs a little bit too before you turn him invisible, so he's closer. Like, you know,
I should be able to
Move
cast the
yourself
spells regular
over here.
invisible, right? And it shouldn't. I should.
well,
Yeah, because that's you casting that spell is not an attack.
oh yeah, 'cause he's not the one. Yeah. You could use regular invisibility.
Okay, because it just give you a little more time.
Yep.
Yeah. 'cause
So
it's not an
where does
attack.
this come out? I'm trying to. So
If you go
I get that
the-
things are black, but we got a guy who knows this thing backwards and forwards. Well, I go upstairs. Where am I coming out? And
To the right. If you look to the
To the right.
right on level 4.
that one. Okay,
Right?
okay. And we think, and inside that dome is
Right
Okay.
here.
Right
Yeah.
there.
all right. Let's do this.
Okay, so Groot, you're or regular invisible, not greater, just
Yep.
invisible. Okay. And then what?
And I'm passed without traced.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna cast a spell on that door and open the friggin' door.
Okay. So
And
first you're going to
Unlock.
First, you're going to ascend the ladder and appear at the top here.
Yep.
Put yourself there and make a stealth check, and I will roll for the Aarakocra to see if they detect you at disadvantage. Actually, I'll just do 2 at a time. That'll be easier. And what is your stealth roll?
Hang on, I'm getting there. Clickety click, click, clickety click, click, click. This plus 10, so 24.
Okay. That's a pretty high margin. Yeah. They're mostly rolling like 1s and 5s, but I'm getting an occasional 17, 18, so that's still not nearly enough. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Never mind. They can't get that score with their modifiers. So there's no like natural 20 success on that. So you don't have to worry about being detected as well for that roll. That'll get you if you want to get to the door. I'll say you don't have to make another stealth check to get you to the door. But if you want to cast a spell, does it have a verbal component?
Let's look.
Let us work.
Where is that spell? I'll do it on D&D Beyond.
What's the spell?
Knock.
Because it's
It is verbal.
You estimate
Yep.
that the Aarakocra right here will likely hear you.
Where is it?
but he won't see you and
Oh, okay.
just hear.
So
noise.
I'm going to go back. Sorry, I'm going to go back without casting.
Okay.
I'm still going to be visible, and I'm going to tell Felgalos, we need the distraction now.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make another stealth check. I'll just see. Actually, I'll
Okay.
wait to roll to see what you get. Okay.
28.
Yep, still too high for them to even notice you. So you get back down. You let Felgulus know, and he's like, "Awesome. Can I destroy this? I'll come back for it." He really wanted to destroy.
You can
that.
destroy whatever you want.
Well, he
Knock
doesn't want
yourself
to.
out.
He doesn't want to put you guys in danger. You know, the rest of you guys are kind of hanging out here. So, instead, yeah, he kind of flexes his arms a little bit, like steps through the gap here, and
Oh yeah.
takes a leap. And as he leaps, he like transforms and elongates, and you see his wings kind of pop out and unfurl. It's actually pretty cool and majestic. And then he flies up and around.
And then he runs into a wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Slams into the side of the
He-
castle,
Oh shit!
knocks the Aarakocra off the
God
roof.
damn it!
Oh, that is actually too
Perfect.
perfect of a description. Yeah, he majestically flies up, and then he turns around to bank, and ricochets against the side of this tower, and basically comes down, does a somersault, lands in front of this guy, gets up, and does well. Yeah, I think that's a good point for initiative to run.
Oops.
So, Groot, I'm going to say that
Yeah,
you
I
would have
gotta-
been basically waiting in the stairwell as this occurred. So you were not visible at that, like exposed out in the open
You
there.
heard a thump, 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 crash, bang.
But everyone can roll initiative.
Character there.
Oh, I suppose.
So what
I
are we gonna
can.
do while this is going on?
Well, you guys can do what you
Zap.
want. The ones that need to roll would be Groot.
Remember, we were gonna dimension door in
Okay.
once the building was unlocked from its
Right.
Groot, you would actually be in the staircase. So I'm going to move you over here.
Okay.
And I'm not going to roll. I'm just going to roll one initiative for all the Aarakocra because I don't want to be arsed with dealing with a gazillion initiative. Simulacra.
Six of them up here.
Yeah, actually, I'll just.
Hey,
6 isn't that many.
Valdery reaches into his pouch, throws out a bunch of bird seed, and throws it at the Aarakocra.
Right. Exactly. That would work too. Fucking dumb birds.
Hey, high quality bird feed here.
That would have worked if you wouldn't have stopped me. Egon, this reminds me of the time you tried to saw yourself in half.
Drill a hole in
Yeah,
your
that was a-
head.
that was a-
would have
a
worked
hole
if
in
you
the head.
hadn't stopped me.
Okay, that's enough. Come on, give me a descending roll here. Oh, I got to get Felgalos in the mix too.
Didn't work for Jeffrey Dahmer either.
Ooh, too soon.
Felgalos, come on, buddy, roll your initiative. What do you got here? Ooh, nice roll. Okay, so in fact, actually, he's going to get to go first. So he kind of picks himself up off the ground and, yeah, he's not going to waste a breath weapon on this thing. He just does a bite. Actually, he can do a full round of attacks on this thing. So he'll start with a bite. Holy crap, he critted.
Nice.
Oh my.
He's
Okay, yeah,
mad.
he basically bites the head off that Aarakocra, spits it over the side, and yeah, he takes off in the opposite direction. Soradiel, it is your turn. You basically kind of heard him doing the crash landing bit, and then like heard him curse, and then like chomp, and now it's your turn. You can't really see anything because you're down below in the room.
Yeah, I can't see anything. Do I'm just gonna go like
Where is he?
Where were the scrolls?
Where were the scrolls?
Oh, there.
Yeah, you said there were scrolls in this room because I have nothing to do until I know what's going on. So
The scrolls. I was sorry, I was looking at the navigation dome room. This is the gallery. Colorful rugs, centerpiece, paintings, statues, ceremonial weapons, costumes, human-sized sarcophagi, vases, and other pottery. It doesn't say where they specifically are, so I'm assuming they're just basically kind of propped up on some of the shelves.
I'm just gonna go grab a handful without even checking to see what they
Yeah,
are.
right.
Throw them in a bag.
Okay.
So
Exactly, yeah.
whatever you'll let me grab in 6 seconds.
You can grab a whole bunch of scrolls if you
round.
want. They're basically just, if you want to identify them,
Means I can actually shove it into a
identify
bag.
them as, scrolls from Lynn Armaal Gallery. Anything from
Okay,
this room is
I
from
will
the
write-
gallery of Lynn Armaal.
Okay.
Okay, so that you spend your round picking those up. So now we've got some Arakakra. This guy squawks and he takes off, flying after Felgalos. His fly speed though is only 50 compared to Felgalos's 80, so he's not going to get nearly as far.
Oh, my bonus action, I start my blade
Okay.
song.
All right. Well, Felgalos is like way further than this, so I'm just going to have this guy move. Oh, geez. No, you did not stretch out like that. So he flies out to there. Groot, it is now your turn.
I'm going to just make it up to the door, but I'm
Well-
going to wait until that.
I was going to say, you notice that you can see that this guy's attention now is in that direction. He hasn't noticed you, but he is facing that direction. So if you want to,
As soon as he leaves or takes off flying, I'm going to cast. That's my ready to action is cast that spell.
okay. If you want to, ready. Yeah, if you want to ready an action to move, dash out then, and then cast it. Otherwise, if
Oh,
you move
sure.
out now, he'll spot you. But if you want to wait and see if
I'm invisible.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Yes, you're
Yeah, he's
invisible.
invisible.
Okay. All right. So you move out there and ready an action to cast a spell if and when he leaves. Gotcha. That case, the next one to go, he's dead. And the next guy is actually that guy. So he actually does a dash of 50 feet. Let me just make sure that the scale is correct here before I start. 1 square is 10 feet. Is it actually 10 feet? No, the scale is indeed incorrect. Let me fix that.
Yeah, I think there
let
were
me just
5.
grid cell distance is 10. Save. Grid. There, that's better. So he moves 100, flies 100 feet. He basically is going to fly around the tower, so he would get himself over to there. And then Samuel, it is your turn.
My action would kick
Oh,
off.
yes,
then.
you're right. Now he's out
Yep,
of sight,
his action
so
would-
you can
yep.
cast the
Knock.
spell. And let's see, is it on your class list?
Oh, no. Oops.
Oh,
Yeah, that's going to be kind of necessary.
Well,
Wait.
who's sorry? We would have.
Yes, this would have worked out
Theoretically, we
differently.
would have known that.
I mean, it's on my class list. I do not.
Well, then
have that
Serengel's
spell.
out there, not me,
Okay, then I guess.
with the same stuff.
Okay.
well, or it could be me
Or
out
you,
there.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Yeah,
Since I
it
already
probably
went,
would
why don't I
make more
make it you?
sense for me to be
Okay.
out there.
Well, let's
Yeah.
quickly retrospect this out or retroactively fix this. So, Samuel, you
I have a plus 13 on my stealth, so we can probably safely assume I made all the same rolls.
well,
he
I
did.
would also have assumed. Let's just keep things consistent. I'll say, well, or wait, can you do pass without trace on someone else, Groot?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do it on the whole
Yeah.
group.
Yeah,
So I would have
Yeah.
the lowest score I could have gotten.
Yeah.
was a
So that's
24
not something we have to worry about.
if I rolled
Okay,
a
so
1.
Groot, you are back down here at the base of the ladder, we'll say, and Samuel, it is your turn up there. And yeah, you wouldn't have had to make any stealth checks pretty much at all. So it is on your spell list. Is it of a level that you can normally cast?
I can cast up to 6th level. What level is
That should, I
knock?
think, be
Second.
Yeah, that's no problem. So you don't need to make an ability check.
Yeah, 2nd
Yep.
level.
And I'm not going to do any mishaps. Well, you wouldn't fail anyway, so it wouldn't be a chance of a mishap. So you cast knock, and the lock promptly snick opens up. You're free to open up the door. I'd let you do that as a flourish. And
Beautiful.
inside, I'm just gonna reveal this whole room.
See, all the storm giants are waiting for you.
You see a circular room, in the center of which, floating 10 feet above the floor, you see
Jesus.
a massive globe that looks very similar to the one that was in the Wizard's Tower of Brain Zephyros. Thank you.
Zephyros.
Too many names.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very similar. The inside wall of the room painted with a mural of a cloud giant city made up of dozens of joined cloud castles. The domed ceiling is made up of overlapping shells of thin black metal with glowing shards of crystal set in star-shaped sockets. Blah, 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 blah. There's no other windows or entrances to the room. It's basically just this, the navigation orb floating 10 feet off the floor.
Smart. Oh.
So the plan was to go back
In and-
to
Yep. Down there.
back to Groot, or well, he was gonna come to me, but I'll go to him.
Yeah.
So since I did an action, I can only move 30 feet, and then next turn I'll have to dash to
Right.
him.
Okay.
See, I don't
And
know.
then the
I
follow-
would be waiting on the stairwell. I don't know why I would be down in the
Oh,
in the thing.
yeah, you would probably be waiting like right
Yeah, probably
here.
so.
here kind of thing.
Yep. I don't know who moved me.
I moved you.
That's
I'll
fine.
put you back
So
on.
I think
So
next,
you're up there.
so next turn I would move to you, and then Dimension Door us in here, and then we could just
Beat the shit out of
bash away.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, that's your turn. Valdry, it is your turn.
I'm going to. I'll pull out my
You hear?
my Warhammer and wait for us to get Dimension Door in there and start wailing on that thing.
I think it's just me and Samro.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Then I'm just hanging out until shit really starts hitting the fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You
Me
hear
too.
a lot of loud squawking and shrieking going on.
Yep.
At the present, though, that's it. Mirror, it is your turn.
Yeah, I think the same. I'm just gonna wait. I think I'll move over here just in case somebody comes up these stairs. I'll have my bow out and ready in case an adversary comes up. I'll shoot at him, I guess.
Okay. In that case, we've got a bunch of the Arakocra that get to go. Okay, they all kind of take off after the dragon. Let's see, now I got a proper map here, distance scale. They can only go so far. So this one flies over to there. This one flies over to there. And this one flies over to there. Okay, Felgalos. He does a backflip and comes back around, and he's going to do a flyby attack on several of these. So he starts off like somewhere over here, flies up to there, does a bite on him, kills
Nice.
that one, sends it screaming to its death into the clouds below. Continues his flyby, does a claw attack, kills that one, sends it
Nice.
screaming down below. Actually, when these things die, they turn into basically into slush, like snowy slush.
Oh,
they're
right.
simulacra.
Yeah. Right.
So they basically kind of just turn into rain and splash into the clouds. But it's really kind of discomforting to see.
Right.
And then he like kind of keeps on flying by And
That'd be a cool
yeah, it'd be
CGI.
nasty. All right, so then that's Felgalos's turn. Serendial, it is your turn.
All right. I guess I'll run over to the stairs and just wait.
Okay, then we've got this.
I will click my boots together as well, just in case.
All right, that simulacra is dead. Bum, 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 bum. Hang on. Need to get some other people on the initiative order here, but they're not necessarily visible to you guys.
You don't have to.
This is where my maps start, or my monitors start filling up with stat blocks.
Right.
Okay, so that's going to be a bit of time before they can act. Come on. Get in there. Get in there. Okay, so Groot, it is now your turn.
I am waiting until after Samuel does his thing, so you can move me up back after Samuel.
Okay. And the Aarakocra gets to go. Still completely oblivious to you, Samuel. He's flying now back down around this way. So, Samuel, it is your turn.
I'm going to go here, and then we're going to poof in here.
Poof.
Poof. Okay, so Groot, yeah, you can move yourself right there. It is now your turn.
All right, and now as a bonus action, I turn into that.
Ooh, air elemental.
Jeez.
I think that's actually twice as big
And
as it should be. But I'll move it.
Nice.
Or else.
Not that big, 10 feet, I think.
Yeah.
And then I will beat the shit out of it. With a magical attacks. My attacks are magical.
Okay. All right. So you start to do slam attacks on it. Go ahead and make attack rolls. All right.
Bam.
Okay.
Bam.
Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to. Do I have a token for this thing? Let's just say that's this thing. Okay, well, that's twice as big as it should be. But it's about almost exactly the same as the picture there, so that's perfect. I just need to put its hit points in. Okay, so you did, looks like
33.
30. All right. Yes, you are able to damage it. Yeah, and you said it's considered magical?
Yep, my attacks are magical.
All right.
As a
And
druid.
Valdry, it is your turn.
All right, well, I'm gonna dash up, double move, and get closer. Get by my storm giant buddy and get closer to the staircase.
Oh, I didn't add them. I
And
thought I
that's it?
added them to the initiative. I didn't do that, did I? Well, damn.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
I was
the
gonna say, I
giants.
never did the giants.
Do the giants, man.
Okay. Well, this guy's going to get to go for too long. And that guy would go. Actually, he would have gone before Elgalos. And I forgot him as well. Damn, too many of these guys here. Thulin, where are you? Come on, Roll20, you can do it. All right. I think I got everyone on now. So, Valdry, you move yourself there.
Yep.
And it's Mira's turn.
I'm still kind of hanging in case any adversaries come up the stairs.
Okay. All right. So one of the storm giants gets to go. He kind of stomps over this way and yeah, stands right there. From another level, well, actually, why don't you guys all make a perception check, except for Groot and Samuel, because you guys are busy wailing on the
Right.
orb.
No.
Everyone else in the room, yeah, go ahead and make a perception.
Perception.
Wow, that's not precise at all.
Did that go through? Yep.
Okay. Mirror, Valdry, and Serendil. You guys all hear the very distinctive sound of what sounds like a ballista being fired.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Below or above?
Outside to, well, it would be outside to your west.
So
Okay.
that's these big like telescope.
No, it's on
looking
another
things?
level. The telescopes are telescopes. The ballista are on a separate level.
Oh, okay.
But they're firing at
Alright.
Okay.
Falgalus, who's flying around in the air.
Yeah.
Right.
Fortunately, they miss.
Shoo.
That's on another level. You
Coming
said?
from somewhere outside,
Yeah.
yes, from one of the other levels of the castle.
Yeah. Okay. And we can't see it on this map. So okay.
Not yet, anyway.
Tholen says, "Yeah, that was ballista. Apparently, they've taken notice of Felgalos. I'm sure they'll be releasing the Griffin soon." So the Eric.
All right.
Well, we stick
gonna-
Griffins.
I'm gonna head up the stairs then and get outside so I can start
It's not your
shooting
turn
at shit.
at the moment.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
Okay. So the Arakakra are gonna continue flying, cawing, making all sorts of loud noise. He's dead. He's dead. He's not. He flies up and tries to attack. Actually, is that too far? Nope, just enough. He's gonna try and, I don't know, what, beak? Where's this Arakakra?
Beak. Beak you to death. Poke, poke.
Oh, it's a talon. Okay, so he attacks with his talon. Oh, he actually got a little bit of a nip in there.
Yep.
Looks like he did 3 whole slashing damage to Falgalus, who's doesn't seem to be terribly worried at this point.
Ooh, I need a band-aid.
Okay, so the other storm giant says, "So what are we doing here? Are we waiting for them to come back, or?"
Very good question.
I think yes. We wait for them to break the orb, and then we go looking for
What's her name? Yeah.
what's her name? Yes, Sansuri,
All right.
or maybe Felgalos will take care of that.
Okay, well, I'll wait here then. Felgalos flies around some more. He takes out the Arakakra right there and swirls back around. And let's see. Oh, a natural 1. He actually dropped his claw. He actually missed. That's the only way that thing could have survived, is by him missing. So that was his turn. Serendil, it is now your turn.
All right. I'm gonna run up the stairs and go to at least. Where did Groot? So Groot's the elemental. I'll go up here and just wait up here at near the top of the
Okay.
stairs.
Yeah, you can move yourself there if you want. You see the door.
Oh,
you see
okay.
the door is open to the central chamber there.
Is the door on the left side or the where I am? Is the door where I am?
There isn't a
basically?
door at the top
mean,
of the stairs. It's just open.
The
Yes,
entryway from
yes,
the
that's
stairway.
where
I
you
mean,
would
is it right?
enter.
Okay.
That's where the stairs
All right,
end.
that's where I will wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see, Mr. Eric Cockrow. He's still alive. He's going to fly at Felglos, but it's a little bit too far for him to attack, so he'll just be able to make it there. Samral, it is now your turn.
So I can polymorph into a giant ape,
Okay.
but since it's an action, I can't really do anything after that.
Yeah, you would be able to be a giant ape. You'd be able to move as a giant ape, but you wouldn't be able to attack.
I can before I do that, I'll give a bardic inspiration to
Okay.
Groot.
And do you have
So why
access
not?
to drag one of the polymorphed?
Let's
You should be
see.
able to.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah, it's too
Oh,
big.
jeez.
I'll resize
Ah.
it. Go ahead and position it where you want to. Actually, before you position it, I'll.
Well, yeah,
The
size
big
it
damn ape.
first.
He's
Where did
what size? He's
where did
huge,
you
right?
Put yourself. It's gonna put me. Giant apes are
Yeah. Okay. So
huge. Yep.
that's about right size.
Okay.
Okay. So you
I don't know,
appear
I'm
then
just
as a giant ape.
floating in space.
Yeah, you hear all sorts of noise coming from the circular chamber, Surrendil. And Groot, it is
Okay.
now your turn. Slam, slam. Thank you, ma'am. More damage rolled. Looks like 32. More points of damage.
Is it cracking at all?
It's not like it's made of glass, but it's you're feeling it yielding somewhat more with each strike. And
Okay.
it's kind of like these flashes of light kind of run across its surface with each strike, and they seem to be more and more distressed looking each time you do it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Nice.
Valdry, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna double move and get up the staircase as far as I can, and get close to where Surrendale is.
Okay.
Whee!
Give me a second here. Because we've got some new combatants arriving.
New players.
3 griffins appear, flying up from below. They're not Peter Griffin.
Ba-dum-bum.
So let me just quickly add them to the initiative, because why not add more complexity? Okay. So we.
Oh, Samuel's floating outside the castle.
Valdry.
I have feather fall. It's fine.
Right.
We were right there. Okay. Yeah, Samuel, if you maybe want to put yourself somewhere. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where Groot put himself.
I think he put himself
and I was
under
gonna
himself.
Put myself there too. Oh, is
Yeah,
it
I'll
just hidden?
just put him on
You
like.
You skipped over me.
There.
You,
I don't
you,
exist.
you skipped
I
over
did
me,
actually, didn't
Paul.
I? So go ahead, Mira. I'm
Oh,
sorry I missed you.
No, that's okay. I just saw I was on the bottom there, and I'm like, well. You were on 8 though.
Yeah, I thought so.
Because Samuel just went.
Yeah.
Correct. Right.
So you.
And then you said there were 3 more things.
Yes,
coming.
I just rolled their initiative. They're elsewhere, appearing elsewhere in the initiative order. So go ahead.
Right. Okay. how did Valdry just go?
Because I skipped over you by accident.
Ah, okay. I was gonna head up the stairs also. So how tall are
It
those
would
stairs?
consume half of your movement basically to go up them to the next level.
Oh, and then I'd be
Yes.
outside. So, okay. And I'm about 10 feet away. So let me move myself over to that map.
Yeah, if you
then.
wanted to dash, you could reach the top of the stairs and still have probably about 20 feet of movement left.
Okay. So, down. I'll go right there.
Okay. So that's where you end up. Valdry, you just went. So Storm Giant's like, I thought we were waiting here, but maybe not. Okay, I don't know. I'll just well, I can't get out through the opening in the window, so I'm going up the stairs. So he starts moving up the stairs. He can't make it to the top though, so he winds up a little bit before you, Valdry. And Count's going to do the same. He'll wind up over there. Another ballista shot rings out. Misses. All right, now we got a griffin that's flying at a speed.
Hey, Lois. Look, I'm flying.
Okay, I lost my griffin sheet here. I got to pull it up again. Come on, griffin. Here we go. They have a fly speed of 80. Okay, so they are a bit more fast. This guy is here. I'm going to say he cannot see you, Mirror, because you're obscured by the stairway. So he's basically just going to fly right over this way as a dash towards where he saw Felgalos. Aarakocra is going to attack Felgalos with a Talon, which he will miss. And the other Aarakocra is dead. So we've got another Griffin. I'm going to give him a perception check. He does not see you, Mirror, so he continues flying over this way. And other Storm Giant is going to follow Thalin. Felgalos will attack. Dead. Dead. He kills the two Aarakocra that are on him. And then he's going to fly 80 feet towards the Griffin to engage them. He can't quite reach there in time, so he will basically get about as far as that tree. And then we've got another Griffin who is now focused entirely on Felgalos. The Griffin flies up to meet him as a dash, but that's all he can do. Serendil, it is your turn. You see all these Griffins flying across, and you do see Felgalos flying to kind of meet them.
All right. And they are definitely bad guys.
Yeah, you remember these Griffins from before. I mean, they're Griffins, so they're like animal intelligence, really. So.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go up here, I guess, and cast lightning bolt at the one I can see right here.
Okay.
Nice.
So he needs doing a dex save, I would guess.
Or
16.
half. DC 16 dex or 36
Whoa!
lightning.
He rolled a 3, natural 1 actually. So he definitely failed. He takes a full 36 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
He's still
and right now
flying.
I'm moving at 80,
but that hurt.
I will use the rest of my move to go over here.
Oh, these things actually have advantage on their perception check. Oh well.
There you go.
Okay, so yep,
That's
that
it.
hurt. That got his attention. but
Hmm?
it's not his turn. Groot, you hear a blast of thunder and lightning coming from outside. There's a flash as Serendil lights up the cloud. But otherwise,
I wonder who that is.
yeah, I wonder who that could be. Keep on beating. Ooh, you dropped your ear or something.
I did.
Not sure how
You
that
know,
worked.
it's late in the night. I'm going to go ahead and take my my critical there instead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, reversal of fortune.
2750, 40. 40
Okay.
total.
40, yes. It is definitely starting to
Dude,
show.
this is a hard friggin' thingy.
Yes, you think though with some more, well, there's some magic built into it, some magical resistance built into it. Even though with your magical attacks, it's still got quite a few hit points. But you think that it's not going to last another round of attacks, especially if you keep hitting it.
Nice.
Okay, so we've got what here? We've got a Dead Arakakra. So Samril, it is now your turn.
Beat on it.
All right. Yes, I'm going to do the same thing where I just beat on it
Beat it.
with 2 fist attacks.
That'll hit, as will that one.
And
Okay, actually, it had 27 hit points left. So
Nice.
with those 2 blows, your second hit actually shatters the orb. It doesn't have any kind of retributive strike type thing, but it basically
good.
there's this bright flash, and the light that was in it just kind of like scatters throughout the room, reflecting quite a bit off of those like star-like things that are set in the walls. So you're kind of dazzled for a moment. When you kind of gain your sight back, you see that the orb is now kind of just a dead husk. It's actually still floating in midair, but all the light has gone out of it. And all of you that are standing in the castle there's this kind of a shudder, like a jolt, and you can tell that the castle slowly comes to a halt as the inertia wears off.
All right. Good job.
Excellent.
So the objective 1 has been completed. And Samril, that was your action. You still do have a move if you want to take it.
Check.
The
plan is coming together nicely.
I guess I turn around and I see Serendil.
Hey.
And I realize there's no point in dimension touring out of here
Right.
like the original plan.
Fight.
So I'm just gonna come out here.
You still can.
Yeah.
What's stopping you?
He's an ape.
Well, I mean, I could have dropped Apehood.
At this point, yeah, it's kind of depends on what you want to do. So actually, let's see, it's about 10 after 10, and we're probably going to have a bit more to do for this battle. So what you've done is you've basically accomplished phase 1 of what you set out to do with this attack.
Mm-hmm.
You've disabled the navigation orb, which means that the castle, it is not over Yarder yet. So it has been immobilized. So Yarder is effectively safe at this point. Now comes the remainder of your plan. You have to locate locate the princess, find her, somehow get her free, and possibly in the process also try and get rid of Sansuri, who now definitely knows where you guys are, considering what just happened.
Yes.
So I think this is as good a spot to end it as any, so that we can pick up next time. I'm going to keep you guys on the map here where you are with the initiative order that you are. And hopefully moving you guys off won't screw anything up.
Just so you know, Thursdays are golf days for me, so I'll be late 7:30 on Thursdays. So you can start without me, but I'll be late.
Okay, yeah, that's not too big a deal.
Yep. And on the 18th, I don't know if I'll make it, Tim. So we're having a league meeting or something. So I don't know how late it's going to go.
How late is your your game, Paul?
So we usually we tee off at 2. We get done a little bit after 6. It's in Cambridge. I got to settle up money. So I'm probably home by 7:15
Okay.
at best.
So 45 minutes. I can, if you want, we can start next session a little bit later. Instead of 6:30, we can shoot for 7. That way you won't miss much in the battle.
It's
Because
up to you guys.
yeah,
you know.
I think I'd prefer to have you
That works
around. It's
fine
because
by
that's quite
me.
a few rounds. I mean, we're going to jump right back into combat. So
Okay.
let's,
Is that still on
yeah,
the
right now that's the
first?
first. Is that still going to work out for everybody? If not, we can
That's fine.
we can
then.
reschedule. But I just wanted
Yeah,
to.
should be.
All right, yeah. So let's shoot for the first. It's 7
Uh,
o'clock instead of 6:30. And
For the 22nd, I'll be 50-50 on
okay,
that one.
yeah, that's a couple weeks off. So we'll plan on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll work that
Yep.
out. All right.
Yep.
Well,
I already know.
Thank you.
So,
cool. Thanks a lot, guys.
All
We'll
right.
catch you
All
next
right.
time.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody.
cool.
Have a good one.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
See ya.